What is up, guys? Back here with an all-new show with these two guys here, Rambo Raff and Orc. And going to be kind of doing a low-key, kind of a shooting the bull show for you today. But yeah, how you guys doing?
Doing well. Thank you for having me on here.
Absolutely, man.
I'm doing pretty good. You know, we need more viewership, so we picked up Rambo. Next, we'll get Chris Stuckman and Jeremy Johns, and then we'll get more sponsors, and then we'll make a Patreon too. So look out for that.
Actually, guys, if you want to stay tuned, John Carpenter is going to hop on for just a little Q&A at the very end of this live stream.
Yeah. So in an hour from now, he'll be jumping on. We're not trolling at all. It's completely 100% serious. So retweet, you know, like, all that stuff. So, yeah.
But, yeah, we were trying to get a show in this week, and didn't quite work out earlier in the week, so I figured we'd do it today. But, yeah, the Dank Meme Show is gone, the Pilots of Dankness. This is going to be the new show. We don't really have a title for it yet, so we'll that's a work in progress. I had a bunch of shit I was going to say, and I've forgotten it all. So, anyway. Well, have you guys seen anything cool or anything you want to talk about lately? Any news?
Going off of pilots, well, it's not really news, but I watched the pilot of Power, which is a show on Stars, and it's fucking amazing. It's about this black guy. He's in New York City. He owns a nightclub, makes tons of bank, but then he's also on the side, like, dealing drugs for this, like, Mexican cartel, like, drug lord kind of guy. And that's a really good show. And then everyone was talking about it, so I had to check it out. It's Ozark with Jason Bateman. And going into that show, you're like, oh, fuck Jason Bateman. This can't be any good. This show's going to fucking suck.
Oh, come on, man.
And it was like, it was a good show, man. Like, well, I like him now more as an actor, but because all I'd seen him in is stupid shit like Horrible Bosses. So I was like, oh, man, this is going to just be terrible. But, yeah, it's a really good show. And everyone and their mom has Netflix, so check out Ozark. I highly recommend it.
Have you seen the whole thing?
No, just the pilot.
Is that all you're going to do?
Okay, from now until 12:01 a.m. on November 1st, or until the sun comes up on November 1st, I'm literally just watching, like, probably mostly horror, and then, like, I'll watch Friday the 13th on Friday the 13th, Halloween on Halloween. Don't know which ones yet, though. Tons of horror, and then, like, I have to make somewhere in between there room for Stranger Things, which comes out 4 days before Halloween. So that's kind of like what I'm looking at right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then two things I want to check out is, I don't think I could deal with the pain to see Insidious 4 mentally and physically.
It comes out in January, right?
No, it comes out in October.
Okay.
I'm gonna pass on Jigsaw, and then Cult of Chucky hits Netflix on October 3rd. So if you have Netflix, just check it out then, because I was gonna buy it, but now
don't check it out.
No, dude, you gotta be. Come on, it's Chucky.
Fuck Chucky. Fuck those movies. Fuck Curse of Chucky. Fuck Cult of Chucky. Fuck Don Mancini. Fucking shitty director.
And then I don't have DirecTV, but I guess the new Leatherface movie is coming out, and I love that franchise, so I'm not going to switch just to get DirecTV just to watch that shitty fucking movie, so going to have to just wait it out, I guess. Wait it out.
Or just don't bother to watch it.
Oh, man, I got DirecTV. I'm going to be all over that thing. I'm going to review it. No, well, did you guys hear the new Amityville movie is, it's been delayed like 4 times?
Yeah.
It's coming straight to Google Play. Google Play exclusive, but it's apparently going to be free, so I'll probably check it out.
Google Play exclusive. The hell is a Google Play?
It's just some other way of streaming video.
I've never heard of Google Play, but
So for like owning shit, there's other sites, but you have Amazon, you have Vudu, and then you have Google Play. And Google Play is the app if you have an Android.
It's like the Android version of iTunes, essentially.
Yeah. So it's way less shitty.
So it's so bad. It's not.
Yeah.
It's Google Play.
So we got an awesome DirecTV movie and Google Play movie. So far is looking good. Thank God. You know.
It's going to be.
They keep making them
free on Google Play from October 12th to November 8th. So
that's how good it is. You can see it for free. They can't sell the shit. They can give it to you for free. I'll just give the fucking DVDs for free at Goodwill or something.
Oh man, I don't think they have a lot of faith in that one. Not even like a, not even just a regular VOD release. We're going straight to a specific platform, and it's going to be free.
So the best is when you walk into Walmart and it's like the Strangler guy, part 27, and they want like $20 for it, and I'm just like, and then you see some guy, he's got like a Dale Earnhardt t-shirt on, and he's like, "Whoa, look at this! This is fucking awesome!"
Look at Steven Seagal's new movie.
Yeah, no, it's either some shitty horror movie or it's some shitty action movie. And you see, like, you're like, oh my god, this looks fucking terrible. Right. And you're just standing there with your phone out, just like looking at shit. And then some guy like walks up and he's like, whoa, gotta get that one. It's like James. Like I have like James at my Walmart every Tuesday.
Yeah, James loves NASCAR.
No, he loves everything, dude. But what I mean by that is he like literally buys like anything he's interested in every Tuesday.
Right.
And then he goes through self-checkout and he gets like pissed off. He's funny as fuck. I love that guy.
Yeah, no, it's like John Travolta's going straight to the Walmart rack. Nicolas Cage puts out like 4 movies a year that go straight to the Walmart releases section.
And then the best fucking thing is it's like Bloodlust Cult Zombie Bitches 69,420 right here on this rack. And then right here, it's like discounted CDs because no one buys them anymore. And it's like Limp Bizkit, like a Significant Other edited version. And I'm just like, okay, that's
I'll
cool.
buy that. Hell yeah.
The music has to be edited, but they can have tits and people getting decapitated in movies because that's how the Waltons roll. I love it.
Mm-hmm. No, I've always wondered who buys those movies, and I found out my father-in-law does. He's got like a stack of like the newest Travolta and Nick Cage movies that I've never even heard of. Like, whoa, shit, that came out?
There's 3 of them. We know it's who's that again in your family?
Father-in-law.
Okay, so your father-in-law, Cameron, and James.
So he likes Steven Seagal. Your father-in-law likes Steven Seagal.
He likes Nick Cage a lot. He likes John Travolta a lot. And
his favorite movie must be Face Off.
Yeah, there you go. That is a good movie. I like Face Off.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he buys shit oh man. I bought this dude a Blu-ray player like 5 years ago for Christmas, right?
Right.
He refuses to buy Blu-rays, even though the damn DVD will be more expensive. Like, I need the Blu-ray so I can get the UV code, man.
Does he give a reason? Does he give a? He has no reason. Just
I don't have any idea why he does it.
I love when people have Blu-ray players and the DVD is more expensive than the Blu-ray, and they still buy
it. Why does the DVD still exist? Seriously, I mean.
So, Jay, what were your thoughts on the Jamie Lee Curtis Halloween thing?
Oh man, I mean, I don't care. I don't. But I mean, was H2O? Is everybody like, oh man, H2O was the fucking greatest?
It was H4O.
Yeah, this is gonna be. I looked it up. H3O, right? And
I think it's 40 years.
Is it 40 fucking years?
78.
So it's been 20 years since H2O.
Yeah, 98.
Damn.
1998.
I got to figure out what chemical formula that is. H4O is like some acid.
Breaking Halloween. They have Bryan Cranston. Yeah.
I know it works. You look forward to it, but
I do. I love 6
I
and
can't.
7. 8 and the 2 remakes suck dick, but Halloween 6 and Halloween 7 I enjoy a lot.
Right.
And I think 7 was the first film I saw when I was 10. Yeah. So that was pretty good. Yeah.
7 was?
Yeah, first big horror movie in theaters when I was 10. Yeah.
Which one was that? I don't even.
H2O.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
7.
okay.
I don't hate H2O. I used to like it, but I it's gone downhill ever since, and I don't know if it's because of all the other shit or because the endings are fucking pointless now or why. I don't know. I mean, I said this when Pizzo had his thing, but how franchises should just end. It's okay to end. It's
Sure.
okay to end a fucking franchise. You don't need to keep fucking jerking it off.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I mean, I just don't understand why we can't just get get a writer, get a decent screenplay, get a director that's actually done some shit before, get a, $15, $20 million budget and make a movie. I mean, it doesn't have to be this, elaborate thing.
Well, because they want, like now, they want the money from it. They want that big box office is going to get 3 movies. And then even one of them mentioned on that, look in Conjuring.
Mm-hmm.
Now you got The Nun, you got the fucking, what was the other, the Annabelle, you got all this trickle effect. Halloween, they want that trickle effect. Get 2 more movies, and who knows, maybe they'll do something else with it.
One trickle effect I still like to this day is the Paranormal Activity movies. I don't think they're that bad. I'm actually a fan of them. But the found footage, I really like that genre. I know a lot of people fucking hate it, and I can see why. But I like those movies if it's done like halfway decent.
It depends. I just think there's a lot of bad ones. But
Yeah, I hear you.
It's cheap, I think, is why a lot of people do it. Because you don't have to worry about production value.
But with found footage, I liked this one called The Tunnel.
Yeah.
I liked that one, which takes place in Australia. I did like As Above, So Below, because I liked the location.
That's an awesome fucking movie. I like that one.
I know a lot of people hated that. I did like Uninvited, no, that's not what it's called. Unfriended.
Oh.
Just because I liked the way it was shot. That was interesting. But then every one of those is like an Apollo 18. There's the one with the dinosaur, Area 407. There's fucking the 50 Bigfoot ones. I mean, fucking.
Troll Hunter. Did you see that one?
Yeah, I know a lot of people liked it. I couldn't get into it.
Really? I thought Troll Hunter was awesome.
That's the guy that did a film I just saw the other day, The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Okay, I haven't heard of that one.
Which I like that one a lot. It's probably one of the better. You'd like that one, or one of the better horror films I've seen in the past couple of years.
Gotta add that to my list. I'm just catching up on chat.
Yeah, I like a lot of the found footage stuff. I know Ork and I are kind of the odd men out when it comes to that.
But I mean, there are some I like the ones I mentioned. I even don't mind, Blair Witch Project. I was a big fan of.
Sure.
But go ahead.
I was just going to say that. I like Paranormal Activity.
Okay.
There are a few of the sequels I like a lot. Just cheap.
Right.
Cheap throwaway films. I don't really hold them, with high regard or anything. I just think they are entertaining for what they are. They do a pretty good job of, being suspenseful.
Yeah, I tried. I couldn't get into them.
Sure.
I got to part 3. Isn't that the one they steal the VHS tapes? The ghosts steal the VHS tapes at the beginning. It's like, wow, the ghosts want VHS tapes that badly. They stole it. Or was the second one with the pool cleaner?
Yeah.
It's like fucking 10 minutes of pool cleaner.
Another good trilogy I like, though, going off of probably the second best series of movies after Paranormal Activity is the VHS films. The third one is really, really bad, but the first two I thought were pretty good. And the second one has one of the best segments I've ever seen in any movie. Any like what's the word I'm looking for? Like Trick or Treat, one of those anthology.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You talking about the one with the cult?
Yeah, that one.
I liked VHS too. I fucking hated the first one.
Yeah.
Very horrible shit is what it should be called.
I like
I
both
hated
of
that
them.
movie.
Have you seen
what-
any of the ABCs of Death stuff?
I liked both of them.
Yep.
I mean, not all of them work, but there's so
Yeah.
many that it's interesting to watch.
Yeah, I like part 2 a lot.
Yeah, I thought part 2 was an improvement.
They've actually put out another one. It's called like the ones they didn't pick.
Yeah.
A lot of people submitted short films and they weren't chosen. I forget what they call it, but I'd like to track that down.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of people made, a lot of pretty reputable filmmakers made films that weren't selected.
Huh.
I mean, I feel like you don't have to have an hour and a half to tell a story.
Right.
You could tell a really creepy story in a short period of time. But other found footage films.
So you liked Blair Witch, the new one?
Oh yeah. Oh, the new one? I haven't seen it yet.
Okay.
That's
Did
one
you
that
like
keeps
the new
going.
one?
I see at Walmart. Like the Blu-ray was $10 on Amazon, and then I see the DVD at Walmart, and it's $7.50. And I go, this could be the biggest waste of money, or it could actually be worth it.
I would rather watch Book of Shadows than Blair Witch again.
Oh,
Yeah,
That's how much I hated it.
I haven't heard anything good about it, I don't think. Other than everyone was so excited when it was announced.
I don't know
Hey, Grave
why.
Encounters.
Like, oh shit, it's Blair Witch.
I don't know why, because everyone hates the first one now. I
Yeah.
liked it, but the new one's just a remake, but then more loud jump scare bullshit that wasn't the first movie. It can suck my balls. That's what it can do. I hate that fucking new Blair Witch.
And that's why I'm not going to waste my time.
I mean, different strokes, different folks. I always
Sure.
say that to people, but I fucking hated it. I thought it was. You want to see a remake of the first one, but then a lot more boo and loud noises. There you go, and some white lights at the end, and you get to see the witch this time. Looks like a dork.
Oh, really? It shows it?
It shows the witch.
Oh,
And,
yeah. See, that's. I mean, I really think less is more. Really, applies.
oh, believe me, if you see the new one, they think more is more.
Well, I think that's a younger audience type thing. Like, if they don't see the monster, they're pissed off. But I mean,
that's what people hated about the original.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, fear of the unknown, I think, is more terrifying than actually knowing what it looks like.
Yeah.
I actually have an imagination, I guess. Younger people don't.
This movie moves too slow. I can't stand it. I need a grenade going off here.
Even though I was on, Pinterest for like 90% of the movie, scrolling through my shit. I hated the movie.
I remember we were doing a show on TSF once, and then you were like, yeah, man, I fucking hate movies like that. Too much character development. There was like some guy in chat, and it was pretty funny.
Yeah. That's fucking lame.
I like Grave Encounters. The second one fucking sucks, but I think the first one's a good independent movie.
That's cool.
Thought it was good. I know there's a few I'm forgetting about, and I'm going to be like, pissed that I couldn't remember.
The same way. As I've seen most of them, like Wreck. I'm sure you probably like some of the Wreck films.
Oh yeah, no, Wreck 1 and 2 are fucking amazing, and then the third and the fourth one actually aren't even that bad.
I think they're all watchable. I mean, they're all decent.
Yeah. Yeah.
1 and 2 are solid though.
Oh, one and two are I think must watch horror. To be honest,
I agree
especially
with
the first one. Holy shit, that movie is yeah.
Mm.
You seen those, Rambo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think it ruined it because I saw Quarantine first.
Oh,
that. Oh, that's
yeah.
right. I couldn't think of the name of it.
And then I saw those. The first one, it was like the same thing. And I'm like, it kind of ruined any surprise or anything because I saw Quarantine first and that was shitty. Had the guy from Hostel in it. And what
There
was
was
it?
one I wanted to mention. It's from Mexico, called Atrocious, 2010.
Haven't seen it.
It's a really good one.
Heard of it, haven't seen it. Yeah.
I want to watch that one again, actually.
I liked 84 Charlie Mopik. I liked that one.
What was the name of it?
84 Charlie Mopik. It was done in 1989, and it's not a horror movie. It's a Vietnam movie. It's a Vietnam story, but done in found footage before it was a thing. It was like the title is the camera they use. It's a platoon going in and under battle
cool.
and stuff.
Sounds really cool.
Yeah, I really liked that. And did you see the St. Francisville Experiment? That was a film that was made like right after Blair Witch in '99.
No, I saw it last broadcast.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that, and I'm gonna pick up the Scream Factory because I really want to see it, and there's like no way to watch it online legally. So, want to check that out.
Oh, the Poughkeepsie tapes.
Oh yeah.
Yep. That was like close to where I grew up.
Oh really?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Is that based on a true story? I guess it probably is.
I think it was, but the Poughkeepsie Mall was like an hour from my house. So, what's it called? The shit. One that I thought was really good, and the only reason I found out about it was because of a review that Pizzo did. Did you guys ever watch The Conspiracy?
Never heard of it.
No shit. Jay, have you seen it?
I'm not.
Holy fuck.
Why? What's it about?
Johnny Depp in that one?
Nope. It's a documentary about conspiracy theories take horrific turn after filmmakers uncover an ancient and dangerous secret society. That's like the IMDb plot, but here it is.
I feel like I've seen.
It's a horror movie.
Yeah, it's a horror / thriller. It's just basically these guys are trying to figure out stuff like secret societies and Illuminati type stuff.
I have seen that.
And then they sneak into Bohemian Grove and a bunch of shit happens.
Yeah, I have seen that.
What did you think of it?
It was decent.
Yeah.
But I always warn people when I used to do reviews on this stuff. Like, I like that genre, so
yeah.
If you don't like found footage films, you may not like the film at all.
Another one I didn't mind was one called Afflicted.
That one's good.
Yeah, I didn't mind that one.
That's the one where he shoots himself in the head and it heals back.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome.
It's kind of like a vampire story.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting.
You know what one sucked ass? Sorry, go ahead, Rambo. Finish what you're saying.
No, you go ahead. I'm curious what sucked for you.
The guy who made Paranormal Activity, the first one, he did a movie called Area 51, which had so much hype around it amongst horror fans, and that film was so fucking bad.
That was a bad one, yeah.
Rambo, did you watch that one? Did you torture yourself?
No, I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Well, they made it, and then they released it like 3 years later. Yeah. So it was a little bit of hype around it because, oh shit, it's coming out. It's gonna be good. So if it sits on the shelf for like a really long time, it's not any good. Like, I mean, how many times have we seen that? Where it actually turns out to be a good movie.
So, did you see The Devil Inside?
Yes.
Did you like it?
I liked it all inside a lot, actually. But you know, I know nobody else likes it, so.
No, I like that movie. I'm looking at the poster. It's a bitch with the upside down cross.
What did you think, Rambo?
Well, when I rented, I said it's the devil inside my ass. That's the one where they're in a car and then it crashes, and then instead of an ending, it just tells you to go to a fucking website.
Oh, that's how that one ends. Yeah, because there's a bunch. There's like 3 or 4 movies around that time, and they're all like they all go to Rome and they like visit priests and shit. And they're like, oh my god.
I'm like, it doesn't even have an ending. Like, you can't even end the movies. Like, they get in a car crash, you know they're alive or dead. It just, no, go to a website that then tells you fucking nothing. And I'm like, fuck this movie.
But another one was called The Right, and it had Anthony Hopkins in it, and it was about exorcisms.
The Right.
And my friend fucking hated horror movies. This was back when I lived in another state. And I was like, dude, it's got Anthony Hopkins and it's a horror movie. How could it be bad? And then we were walking out of the movie, and I was like, I'm sorry I put you through that. I'll never do that again.
You know, another one I liked a lot was Devil's Due.
The one like Rosemary's Baby kind of movie, right?
Yeah, you've seen it at work, I think.
Yeah, I've seen it. I liked it. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, but you know, you've got to like possession films, and you've got to like found footage films. So.
Yeah. But yeah,
I like both. So
with found footage, I mean, it just depends. I guess I'm sort of 50-50. I like digging up the marrow. I liked that.
Yeah.
But I don't like something like Diary of the Dead. You know, I hated that movie.
I think most people do.
So did you see, what was that one in the school? The Gallows?
That one I haven't seen yet.
It's like a bunch of people in a school, and then they're going to redo this play. And I think like the trailer had that Nirvana song.
Oh man.
Feels like Teen Spirit or something.
No, I didn't see that one because I think Mike said it was a piece of shit, and I avoided it. I think that's what it was.
Jay, when it was on Netflix, did you watch Area 50? Not Area 51, but Alien Abduction.
Yeah.
Did you watch that one? I thought that was a pretty good, like, straight to Netflix. It could be a pile of dog shit movie, but it was actually half decent.
Much better than the Area 51.
Yeah.
What about Willow Creek?
That's one I watched recently, and that you recommended to me. And then actually, like, I saw a review a few years ago, but then it was on Shudder, and I checked it out. That movie is all atmosphere, but I liked it. It was good.
It's directed by Bobcat Goldthwait. Rambo.
Oh, okay, I've heard of that. I haven't seen it. The Bigfoot one?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you'd be a fan, but check it out.
No, you probably would not like it at all. But,
I've had a bad luck with Bigfoot movies.
There's a lot of really bad Bigfoot movies, though.
See, I saw the Bigfoot County something. One called Bigfoot the Lost Coast Tapes or something. What the hell it was called. I think it was like Bigfoot the Lost Coast. It was something like that.
If it's a B movie that's horror action, I know Rambo's seen it. So that's
I think Dean Cain did one, didn't he? Didn't Dean Cain have his own Bigfoot movie?
I don't know. Yeah, I must not have seen that one. I saw the couple that Lance Henriksen was in.
Oh yeah. And the kid from Home Improvement did one with, I think, the exact same costume from Harry and the Hendersons.
I think I remember seeing the cover of that.
Yeah, you probably did. I
just want to see one where at the end of the movie he pops out and he's just Jack Link's beef jerky and he's trying to give it to them and they're waiting for their lives. He's like, yeah, no, I just want to help you out.
Do they still do those?
Yeah, they still make those.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I don't watch commercials, man, so I don't even know.
I mean, it's not found footage, but the Bigfoot film I did enjoy was Abominable. I did enjoy that one. That's the one where it's a guy in a wheelchair, and it's sort of like Rear Window, and he's
Oh,
living
really?
across the way with these women that have looked into another. He's like stuck in a wheelchair, and there's like a Bigfoot around. Like Jeffrey Combs has a small role, Lance Henriksen has a small role. I liked that one. The guy is a guy named Matt McCoy. He was in Deep Star 6 and others, and I thought that was a pretty good Bigfoot movie. Direct the video.
Okay. Cool. I'll have to check that one out. They are few and far between. Decent ones, I mean.
Yeah.
And Lance Henriksen's in that one too.
Yeah, but it's a much smaller role. Like you said, for like one scene.
Oh man, he's not taking on very big roles anymore, unfortunately. But no, the Dean Cain thing I was thinking of. He did this show called $10 Million Bigfoot Bounty, and they were going to pay. It was a reality show. They were going to pay the winner $10 million if they caught a Bigfoot. So
the only thing they caught was pneumonia.
they caught the clap.
I like colleges.
All these people out there like looking at piles of shit and like hair and like, oh fuck.
Man, that sounds like an exciting show.
It does. I don't want you right now.
Yeah, I never saw it, but I saw some of the some clips from it. It seems pretty funny. Just like the most like redneck people you can imagine out there, like, all right, now we got look at this pile of shit over here. That's squat shit right there.
But yeah, I mean, if you like found footage, there's an interesting one from 1983 that was made for TV called Special Bulletin. It's the same guy that directed Glory, Ed Zwick. He did that. It's all looks like a news bulletin, and it's like this terrorist group that have this atomic bomb in this harbor, and it's all done like it was for real in a special bulletin news report. So real that people thought it was real.
Oh wow.
They got pissed and called in. It's like, no, this is fake. It stars, if anyone out there is a fan of Exorcist 3, the guy who played the priest, who was friends with George C. Scott, Ed Flanders, I believe, he was the star of it. And
Yeah. Yeah, it's on YouTube, and it starts up with a message that says, the following program is a realistic depiction of fictional events. None of what you're about to see is actually happening.
Yeah.
Cool, I'm going to check that out.
And there was another one in the 90s called Without Warning, which was kind of the same thing, but dealt more with sci-fi, like UFOs landing.
Mm-hmm.
But it was also like all done on the news.
Yeah, I think I've seen that one before, but I actually picked up the. I think Scream Factory put out a Blu-ray of it. Someone put out a Blu-ray of it, and I picked that up. I'm gonna.
Oh no, that's the movie that's like Predator.
Without Warning.
Palins. Yeah, this is a different one.
Oh, it's the same title though.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
This is a TV movie from the 90s. The one you're talking, that's the 80s horror film that about an alien that hunts people. The one I mean, that's from like 1994 or something.
Oh, that may be why I'm confused. I think I saw that one and not the other one you were talking about.
Okay.
So I think I saw the TV movie one from '94.
Yeah, the one from Scream Factory. That's the one where it's like he's throwing these discs, like these things, and it lands on people. Like Jack Palance is in it. That's 1980, early 80s, I think.
Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. That's my problem. Then I got those two confused. I guess.
Yeah, same title. But.
Cool. But yeah, I picked that up and I added it to my list of stuff to watch for October. Trying to actually get a decent list so I'm gonna have to stick to it, because what I do is I always just like, fuck around for like half the month and just watch whatever's in my Netflix thing. So I'm actually gonna have to focus.
I always have I'm always inspired by the people who like every October they're like, I'm watching 2 films a day.
Yeah.
And they're horror, and I'm like it's like day 5, and I'm like, oh, what's on fucking AMC? Oh, look, it's Graveyard Shift, and then like I'll go back to watching football or something. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I do the same thing, man. I get like really, over eager, and there's like 50 movies on there. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna watch all of these. It's gonna be awesome. It's like 2 days away from Halloween. I've seen like one horror movie.
You have like stacks and stacks of like movies of like DVDs and Blu-rays. And then by the time it's over, it's November 1st, and you've been through like half of a stack, if that.
Yeah.
It's like.
Yeah, I used to do videos on YouTube what I was gonna watch. It was like 15 movies. Like it's like the day before Halloween. I'm like halfway through trick or treat and I'm already asleep. Like, all right, happy Halloween. But, now let's see. I've got for this year. I've got Brain Damage, Basket Case, the whole trilogy of Basket Case films, Slither, Without Warning, Rawhead Rex, Shocker, Demon Knight, Demons 2. So just 11 films on there so far.
The last 3 on that list, I really, really, really like. Demon Knight and then Demons 1 and 2. Holy shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there's really no slashers in there at all, but I'm not the biggest slasher fan. I like the creature feature stuff a lot more. It's always been my go-to. And most of these are like Blu-rays I've bought in the past few years and have not watched. And the new Rawhead Rex comes out sometime in October.
Okay.
That I pre-ordered and haven't seen that film since I was a kid.
I've heard of it. I've never seen
it. It's what made Clive Barker want to make Hellraiser, because he hated Rawhead Rex so much.
Okay.
It's based on his book.
Oh, okay.
So he was like, if anybody's gonna do my work, I'm gonna do it. Which I don't blame him, but been a lot of shitty Clive Barker stuff come out since. But yeah, you guys want to go ahead and get into some action films, some underrated action stuff?
Sure.
You have any you want to start with, Orc?
Fuck no, bro. All I got is Die Hard 2, Die Hard 3. Here's one that was really bad. A Good Day to Die Hard. That was pretty bad. I'm trying to think, like, I don't know. I watched so many slashers and stuff growing up, and the films that everyone's seen, like Star Wars and stuff like that, that I didn't really watch too many like underrated like action films back in the day. I mostly stuck to like big, like ones that are well known, like Terminator, Predator, Die Hard, Rambo, with like a few others mixed in here and there. But mostly back in the day, it was just like I was in the horror section for the most part. So a lot of really good action movies either escape me or I haven't seen them.
I know you haven't seen a lot of Van Damme stuff, right? Like,
yeah, like at least half, yeah.
And let's see. Off the top of my head, one I'll mention is Broken Arrow. I think that's an underrated John Woo action film. Since you mentioned John Travolta, that made me think of it. I think that's a great one that no one talks about.
We mentioned both, but those were like two of my favorite. Like another two of my favorites, Face Off and Broken Arrow, where I really like that. Who's the other guy? Christian
Slater.
Yeah, okay.
Slater. And the thing is, if I start talking, I'm like, man, what year do you want me to pick for underrated action movies? I mean,
hey, would you guys consider U.S. Marshals underrated or no?
I liked it. I would put it underrated. I don't mind that film.
Because Fugitive, everybody likes, you know.
Yeah.
Fugitive, yeah. Fugitive's like a dad movie. It's like, you know, 'cause that did like really well in the box office, right?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Piece of shit. Don't get me started, man. That fucking dude.
Here's a orc real talk moment. When I was living in Colorado for a little bit, my friend's dad was at a bar one night, and then Harrison Ford showed up, and like he was getting drunk off his ass, and they were about to throw him out. And he was like, "Do you know who I am?" And they're like, "Yeah, we do. Now get the fuck out!" And they just threw him out of the bar.
Okay, Jay. You have to go on Harrison Ford because he started it. If people would have asked, now I'm curious about it.
I mean, have you seen the stuff this guy's been putting out? Like,
no, you mean movie wise or
no, not the movies. The movies are fucking shit. But his interviews, he's such a fucking asshole, man. And people they love him even more. He's like, fuck you guys. They're like, yeah, go Harrison, you're so awesome. He's like, I hate all my fans. Fuck you all. You all suck and you're stupid. These movies are shit.
I haven't seen that.
But I mean, he's the reason why like so many films didn't get made. You know, like he's the reason why Star Wars did a bunch of the stuff it did. You know, and he only came back for the money. He got paid like $50 million. Carrie Fisher got paid like $500,000. You know,
of course.
And she didn't die in the movie. No,
right.
Spoiler, I guess now. Man.
If you
don't know that, you've literally been under a rock for like the past 4 years. If you don't know that by now, you don't give a shit about it, I guess. But he's out with the new Blade Runner, you know. There's an interview I saw on Facebook that I've already hated this guy for a long time, but this interview, man, these hipsters are just like, he could do no wrong. Like, he could just like straight up like shit on the ground. They're like, oh fuck, Harrison Ford is the best thing ever. Just I can't figure it out. I mean, he's a geriatric old man. He's like 80 years old, and people think he's the best. Like, I mean, Indiana Jones. Oh, he's so great. Crystal Skull was the best thing ever I've ever seen.
I actually like Crystal Skull, but that's pretty damn funny what you're saying.
I really wish Cole was here because The Last Crusade and Blade Runner are two of his favorite movies.
I know they are, and that's fine. I think those two movies are good.
Yeah, I like a lot of his movies, but I didn't know about this interview, so that's why it's.
I mean, it's just his choices. Like, I mean, he does what he wants, and you know, if that had been anybody else, people would be like, "Oh man, he's a piece of shit." I mean, it's like Bill Murray, you know, with Ghostbusters 3, you know,
right?
You know, but you know, Harrison Ford does it, and it's man, Harrison Ford, he's cool. You know, he don't take any shit from anybody. It's like literally, he does not give a fuck about this project. He's only here for a paycheck, and he'll tell you that.
Right.
I know business is business, but it does kind of suck when something like that happens. Like with what happened with Bruce Willis on Cop Out and then Expendables 3. I was just kind of like, really?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, people say he's a piece of shit, right? He's like an asshole.
Yeah.
It seemed like almost every director who's ever worked with him has had problems with the guy.
And it sucks.
I mean, from the guy who did Mercury Rising, Striking Distance, Rowdy Harrington, who did Roadhouse, to...
That's a good movie, Striking Distance.
Yeah, I liked that. Yeah, it seems like he's an asshole. He's a dick.
Nah, that sucks. I mean, I don't know. Can't really speak to that. People say he is, so I'm sure he
and then you have
is.
like people like literally every time I see them in anything, even if paparazzi's up their ass as they're getting inside their like Ferrari and shit, like Stallone and Schwarzenegger, especially Schwarzenegger. with the amount he like puts out to the public. They just seem like, besides like fucking maids in their house and like having more kids, you know, it's like they seem like really cool guys. That I'd like to meet.
Well, they don't put themselves out there. You know, they're not in the public eye at all. So, which I feel like these celebrities that are, you know, they choose to be like, they want that attention, and whether or not they, you know, they say they don't. They're like, come on, guys, leave me alone. I'm just going to, you know, I'm going to Mickey D's here.
Speaking of which, we gotta veer off again because there was one, like, I think Tarantino was in Utah for like Sundance one year, and it was like snowing or something, and like he's getting a cup of coffee at Starbucks, and he's like, fuck you, with the camera, get the fuck away from me, you piece of shit. And he just, it's on YouTube, it has like a few million views, but he just goes off on some like paparazzi guy. It's fucking hilarious.
Have you seen that interview where he gets all pissed off? I forget what it's even about now, but he's a funny guy. Is Tarantino pissed off?
It comes up. Come on, Google, don't fail me now.
Oh man, there's so many results. All right, I'll have to get to that later.
And this is what keeps you backed up in October.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, do I really want to watch Critters 3 again? Or how about I watch Christian Bale's Crash Your Lights? How about this? Click.
Yeah, it's like last night I was getting ready to watch a movie, and this thing about Vietnam was on. It's like a 19-part series. I'm like, oh, well, shit, all right. I got to watch this. I'm watching like the thing on the BBC or something about the Vietnam War. Just when you got to finish it, you can't start a 19-part series and not finish it, right?
Yeah, it's like when they do like on the military channel, it's like 100 most deadliest weapons of all time, and I'm like, oh well, I was gonna watch some football today, but I guess not. Cool.
It was actually pretty cool though, because they were interviewing both sides. Like they'd have the Vietnamese army, the guys that lived, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, talking about them, and it was pretty cool to hear their side of it. I don't think I've ever really heard much from their side of the war.
Right.
But yeah, pretty much of a downer. But let's see. Have you ever seen Elite Squad?
That sounds familiar.
It's Portuguese, I believe, or it's from Brazil.
It sounds familiar, but I haven't seen it.
That's a pretty cool film. They made 2 of those. And let's see. What's the tower invasion film from Asia? The where the
Tower invasion.
I'll think of it in a minute. You know, it's like a tenement building, and they're working their way up. The
Raid Redemption.
Yeah, Raid. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's a great
Raid
one.
and Raid Redemption. Those are 2 good ones that people that don't watch a lot of foreign films may not have heard of.
Which they're remaking.
Is Spike Lee doing it?
No, it's I thought it was the guy that did Sabotage.
It's the guy that did Nirvana Nevermind video. I like Sabotage. I know people hate that movie, but I liked it.
You know, besides Escape Plan, I haven't really seen much of Schwarzenegger's newer stuff. There was The Last Stand. Was that the main one he came back for? Yeah, I haven't seen.
That's the only one I liked.
I've liked all of those. I mean, they're not great or anything, but you didn't like Escape Plan?
No, I was disappointed. Because you get Stallone and Schwarzenegger finally together, and it's this boring ass prison movie.
I know why, though.
It's not even an action movie.
I know why you're so disappointed, though. They're at the top of the thing that they're trying to get out of, I won't spoil it in case you haven't watched it in like 5 years. But
And Han
and
Solo dies.
he doesn't say get to the chopper.
I don't want him to
say it, man.
I'm tired of him saying that shit.
Does he say I'll be back?
He says that Expendables 3 like 5 times, get to the chopper. I'm tired of this shit. Say something fucking new. God. But yeah, I mean, The Last Stand is the last one I liked. Every other one's like, what the fuck? Like, it's cool people like Sabotage. I'm like, wow, Rob Zombie wrote this script, and it fucking sucks. That's what it sounds like. We'll fuck you in the fuck, and who farted, and who dusted farts here, fuck this fuck, and fuck that
Fuck you in the fuck.
Oh, fuck you in the fuck. Eat a dick and eat some shit and suck my balls. And
Does it tell anyone to put a cookie down?
that's most of the fucking dialogue. Sabotage.
Who's your daddy? What does he do? What was the zombie movie he did? Like Molly or something like that?
Maggie.
Maggie? Did you see that one?
Yeah. Arnold? Yeah, Arnold
No
wasn't the problem. I thought Arnold did a good job acting.
Yeah.
I didn't like the way it was filmed. It was like this gray.
Yeah.
It made me physically tired.
Yeah, I agree.
Watching the film. But Arnold wasn't the problem. I thought he was good acting. The acting wasn't the problem.
No, I think it was a bad script. It's just not really a very compelling story, really.
No.
I mean, it just drags.
And the ending was kind of, yeah.
It's not Jingle All the Way Through. I'm not watching it.
They made that, right? Was Larry the Cable Guy in it?
Yeah.
Oh,
shit.
shit, really? I thought I was remembering some fever dream or something. Okay, that actually existed.
Because he did that and Tooth Fairy 2.
Oh.
Larry the Cable Guy.
All right, well, I mean Jingle All the Way Through then, because I never saw it too.
Just like they did a sequel to Cop and a Half.
That's like recently, right? Oh, man.
LDP.
LDP's really dropped off the map, too.
That's sad because I like him.
I do, too.
But no one's going to hire these guys. I mean, that's the sad thing about nowadays. There's a lot of good actors. Brad Dourif, that's a good actor. It's not like he gets hired for stuff. And
we're talking about straight to VOD shit. Anything Dolph Lundgren's put out in the past like 6 years, have you liked it? That isn't Expendables? Like Skin Trade and stuff like that?
Yeah, I really enjoy Skin Trade. That's a film I think could have been in theaters.
That's one I need to check out.
Just him, Tony Jaa, Michael Jai White. I thought that was really good. Battle of the Damned was fun. I mean, it needed more money. It's cheap looking, but Dolph Lundgren fighting zombies and robots. It's cheap, but it was fun.
Is that Skin Trade you're talking about?
Oh no, Battle of the Damned was another one Dolph Lundgren did where he fights zombies and you have robots in it.
That sounds really cool. I need to go put it on my list real fast.
I mean, it could have used a better director, handled the action a bit better. It could have used a bigger budget for the robots, but still Dolph fighting zombies, and that was fun for what it was. I had fun with that.
Say no more. I'm already on board.
And it's from Anchor Bay too. Like this came out in 2013. I never even heard about this at all.
Yeah,
that's weird.
Me either.
And for Dolph, you say in the past 6 years?
Yeah, like since 2010.
There's some stuff. I mean, he's done some direct-to-video stuff. He did one called The Defender, which he directed, where it's like him and a bunch of guys sort of protecting this person. And people come in the woodwork in this facility. Harry Springer is the president.
Oh, wow.
This guy's like
he was actually pretty good as a president.
Dude, this guy is almost like Seagal. Like, just go to Lundgren's like fucking IMDb page. Holy fuck. I thought I'd only have to scroll through like 10 movies. He's done like 50 in the past like 6 years. Holy shit.
Yeah, a lot of them are like bit parts. But
How was Kindergarten Cop 2?
Horrible. as horrible as it sounds. Sadly.
I liked one of the. It's the Soldier, Universal Soldier. One of those sequels that came out recently.
Regeneration.
Maybe Regeneration.
Day of Reckoning.
Did you like any of those? The newer ones?
I just didn't. The action was well done. I didn't like the direction of the story. Because I liked Van Damme's character in the first one, and then one of them they just turned him back to a zombie, and then the other he was a kind of a bad guy and they killed him. I just didn't like the direction of the story, being a fan of the first one. And it just some well done action.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get past that. But you know, I'm a big fan of the first movie, so and I like the second movie. I know I'm alone in that, but I like Return. It's just a 80-minute kicking people's ass action movie.
Was that part 2?
Yeah, that was one with Van Damme starring that went into theaters with Michael Jai White as the villain. Universal
What was
Soldier,
the one with Bill Goldberg?
That one, The Return.
Oh yeah. I thought that movie was fun.
I'm trying to get the. So that's the second one after the Universal Soldier, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I saw that one in the theater.
Yeah, I think that was 99 or something.
And Michael Jai White was one of the guys I wanted to talk about, like of being kind of an underrated action star.
Yeah. So we didn't go into that.
Yeah, I mean he's done tons of great stuff.
Yeah, I like Blood and Bone.
Yeah.
And Black Dynamite.
Yeah.
Black Dynamite's a lot of fun. You done fucked up now.
Of course, he was in one of films that I hate, Spawn.
But then you don't make up about Spawn. When did you first see Spawn?
In the theater.
Okay. Did you know of the comics, or you just going into it? Oh, okay. Were you a fan?
I was a big fan of the comics. Yeah, big fan.
So,
yeah.
As a guy that didn't read the comics, what did they get wrong? Other than everything. If you can remember the movie.
It's just, you have an idea in your mind of what it should be. I didn't have a problem with Michael Jai White at all. It was, primarily John Leguizamo and the special effects were my main. Like Malbolgia at the end of that film looks, it's like some Mario Paint stuff going on. It's terrible, dude. But, not his fault.
No, I didn't even know the comics. I wasn't a big fan of the movie. But Michael Jai White, he was good. But needed a better. They got some guy who never directed before, some Mark DePay or Mark Dipstick, whatever the fuck his name was.
Is that who directed it? Mark
DePay, whatever that was, some effects guy, which is funny considering what you said about the effects. And it was like an effects guy who directed it.
Oh wow! There's some fishy stuff that went on around the production of that movie.
Oh really?
Yeah, we did some research on it a while back.
Oh okay.
And I don't remember exactly what all it was, but let's see what all this guy's directed. Okay.
I know he directed another one called Frankenfish.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The
Frankenfish.
You all know the classic Frankenfish, right? And he did a bunch of horse shit after that. He did the Reef 2, the Boxcar Children, which unfortunately I've actually seen.
Oh wow. Never even heard of that.
And it's terrible. And he also did the sequel is in production now. And Michael Jackson's Halloween. What the fuck is that? That's coming out this Halloween, so I guess look for that soon. That sounds like a straight to like Yahoo Video thing there.
Michael Jackson's Halloween. Fucking first time I've heard of that.
Post-production.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
How's it going? I just figured I'd join you guys for a little bit. Just got home from work.
Yeah. Doing well, man.
What am I missing? I
what we're
clicked
talking
on
about?
and I heard Rambo talking about comments. So I was like, oh, there must be something good happening.
Well, I mean, Jay was getting done ranting about. Well, he was ranting about Spawn, and this guy who directed it named Mark DePay, who I guess did something called Michael Jackson's Halloween.
Is that Michael Jackson's Ghosts? Is that what that is? Is that something else?
No, apparently it's something called Michael Jackson's Halloween.
It's coming out. This. I mean, I would imagine they're going to put it out for Halloween time. That would seem appropriate. But yeah, it's post-production right now.
So Michael Jackson's Halloween is in post-production?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's. I don't think Michael Jackson's in it at all. Lucy Liu.
That'd be really weird if he was.
It's bad enough we're getting Madea Halloween too.
Oh really? Like Boo?
It's Boo too.
Wow.
Boo 2? Oh my god. Oh, I couldn't even be a little bit greater on the title. Oh god.
It looks really bad. Not even like the first movie, like I never saw it, but at least the trailers were kind of humorous. This trailer's not even funny for the new one.
This movie will come out. It will be #1 at the box office. Fucking Tyler Perry will buy another island. And all of you idiots that go see his movies are stupid.
And then he's on like a food drive commercial during Thanksgiving, and he's like, "We don't have much money or time left. We need donations."
I can thankfully say I've never seen a Madea movie. Never. Have you, Jay?
I saw like the first one.
You know what's sad is he's directed almost more movies than John Carpenter at this point.
Are you fucking
Diary of a
serious?
Mad Black Woman is the one I saw.
I had like 30 Madea movies alone.
Yeah.
Has he ever done anything good though?
The best thing he's ever done is that, in my opinion, okay,
Right.
is his supporting part in Gone Girl. He's fantastic in Gone Girl as playing Ben Affleck's lawyer. But
He's a good actor. I think he's a pretty talented actor.
And I've seen parts of like some of the Madea plays where it's like I see where the talent is. The problem is that it's filled with a lot of nonsense, you know. Yeah, but Spike Lee hates him, so that's
Probably because he makes more money than him. Boom! Gotcha, Spike. Piece of shit. Go watch the next game and lose.
I mean, we're old enough to remember this. Do you remember when Spike Lee movies used to be funny as well as like thought provoking? Like, I mean, if you watch Do the Right Thing, right, it's got a lot of like social commentary into it, but it's also hysterically funny.
Well, it's also well made,
right? And that's what I miss.
To an extent, yeah.
I miss his comedy mixed with everything.
Remember when he goes on Kickstarter and gets his films funded, and then puts them out, and they're pieces of shit?
Has there been a mainstream filmmaker who raised money, as a known filmmaker on a social media platform like Kickstarter or Indiegogo, and actually made a movie worth seeing? Can we think of one?
I don't know, but I want to hear the stats of all the people who have done it. And
Did you guys like Tusk at all? I thought Tusk was not bad.
But was that crowdfunded?
I thought it was. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
I think it was inspired by a podcast. But Kevin Smith puts $3 million of his own money in that movie, and so he makes it back on pre-sales. Like he doesn't even matter if it plays in the theater. Just pre-selling it to other countries, at least breaks him even. Like that's smart.
That's sad.
Yeah. Speaking of shitty Kevin Smith movies, I saw Yoga Hosers a couple weeks ago.
Oh my god,
that was fucking god awful, man. That is an awful movie.
I think you're about 5 minutes into it.
This is an awful movie.
I can concur.
You saw it? Oh wow.
Yeah, I ranted on it. It's fucking.
Yeah.
Nazi
Kevin Smith is actually in it.
Yeah, no, he's a Nazi bratwurst.
Oh, perfect timing. Talk about Yoga Hosers, Cole.
I was going to ask what we were talking about. I still haven't seen Yoga Hosers. I guess it must have been pretty underwhelming. Nobody says anything about it. Nobody says it's good. No one says it's bad.
Well,
I'm saying it's bad right now.
Kevin Smith as a Nazi bratwurst.
Well, Kevin Smith is quite happy right now just directing Supergirl episodes. So,
Yeah.
I'll never forget that Tom McLaughlin, the director of Jason Lives. You know, he did an interview with Dead Pit years ago, and they were asking him like, why did you stop like doing theatrical movies? Why are you just like doing TV movies now? And he said, well, why should I spend 3 years of my life trying to get a theatrical film going when I can direct 6 TV movies a year? And so it's like, well, and if you want to be a filmmaker, then does it really matter? Just make films. And if you have to spend 3 years of your life trying to do it, you know, there's some directors that just direct, you know, cable or direct, you know, now streaming movies, but they make like 8 of them a year. So, I mean, they direct more movies than Martin Scorsese. So, you know, I'm not saying they're better filmmakers, but, you know, Scorsese's always said he wished he could have made movies back in the 30s and the 40s where they would just say, okay, these are the 10 movies you're making this year. You got a Western over here, a musical the next week, an action adventure in October. And so you just would have to, you know, become talented at everything.
Well, I mean, that's why guys like John Carpenter aren't making movies anymore, because it is such a chore.
Yeah. And John Carpenter, as great as he is as a filmmaker, and obviously we're obviously huge fans of him here, if he had had his wish and he had been a filmmaker in the 50s making Westerns, think about what he would have made at that time. I mean, they would have been amazing. So, because he always wishes he could be Howard Hawks, right? So,
yeah. But what we were talking about before you guys come on, we were mentioned like underrated action stars. We mentioned Michael Jai White, and I mentioned, you know, I like Blood and Bone and Black Dynamite, and then Jay was telling us how he saw Spawn in the theater.
I saw Spawn in the theater too.
Oh man, what did you think?
At the time?
Sure.
At the time, I probably thought it was an okay movie. You know, I was not reading. I knew the Spawn comics, but they weren't what I was reading at the time. I knew that, you know, Spawn was very hip and cool at the time and stuff. And at the time, I guess the effects were pretty good, but I probably thought it was okay, but I don't think I really liked it too much. I mean, like the bad guy was really lacking and the acting was bad and stuff. And it's the one time I went to the theater where like it was so loud at the beginning that like somebody had to like they had to send somebody out to like turn it down because it was making us all go deaf. And if you guys remember the opening credits of that movie, it's just a bunch of loud like new metal shit music like blaring. And like somebody actually had to run out of the theater and tell them to turn it down because our ears were going to bleed. But yeah, I think that it's kind of too bad. Maybe that's probably the movie that stopped Michael Jai White's momentum. That was going to be like a big star-making thing for him. It was a big deal, big comic book movie, and it did so poorly. And you know, it relegated him back to being just sort of like a B-list or C-list guy, where it's like, okay, you can do stunts and stuff, but no, you're not getting big leading roles, which is not really his fault, right? He did what he could. And then plus, I don't know, they tried to make certain things funny. And I don't know, Spawn shouldn't really have that. Like, so the tone was weird too when they tried to have jokes and stuff.
Then he
I don't know.
Then he acted in that scene in Kill Bill 2, and then Tarantino cut him out.
Oh, really?
There's a whole.
I didn't even know about that.
Yeah, there's a whole scene on YouTube. You can probably see it where it's Bill versus Michael Jai White in one of the flashback scenes to when the bride is in China, or training with what's his name? I can't remember his name. The guy with the white beard.
Pai Mai.
Yeah. So there's a whole like, and when you see it, it's cool, but you can see why it got cut out. Like there's no point to it.
Oh, and then killed.
Oh wait, is that the thing where he's got like the Australian accent?
Yeah, it's kind of like all like
the flashback where they get attacked in the streets, and one of them is like a black guy with an Australian accent. Okay, yeah, I have seen that. I didn't even. Yeah, of course it was him. So yeah, that's an okay scene. It would have been okay if they continued. But you're right, it's not like they needed it.
I mean, he's done a lot of stuff. Just he's never been a main star in the films.
It's too bad because I don't know. He has the chops for a lot of things. Like he doesn't have to be be an action star. He doesn't have to be a truly great actor. He was a competent actor, and he was a very probably gifted martial artist. He still is, even though he's older. You know, I watched what is it, Undisputed 3 not too long ago. He certainly looks a lot better in that than the actual real fighter Josh Barnett, which is pretty funny. In that Josh Barnett was like like a real guy that was still active at the time of the movie. I think he'd been busted for steroids and hasn't fought in about 2 years. But
that's kind of what's sad. The guys that actually are talented, martial artists, seem like they don't really get a fair shake. It's like, no, you need to do shitty, like, slow punches. Like, no, I can't do that, though.
Yeah. And some of them, it was just like the timing, because we talked about this before. We talked about action and how action was a big deal in the 80s and 90s, and part of that was martial arts too and stuff. And these trends change and stuff. Like you think about a guy like Scott Adkins, who I admit Scott Adkins doesn't necessarily have a lot of charisma or anything like that, but he was, a very talented martial artist. If he was 15 years older, probably back then he might have been like of the level of maybe a maybe not Seagal or Van Damme or somebody, but he might have been at least in the conversation if he was part of their generation. But he was part of a later generation where those guys were sort of being relegated as the new sort of kind of action heroes took over. So Scott Adkins is good in all the movies he's in as far as what he has performing and stuff goes, but it's very small fare. It's like, okay, you're henchman number one here and stuff. And I tried to watch a movie. It was like one of those ninja movies where he had starring role, and it was like Ninja 2 or something like that on Netflix, and I had to turn it off. It was so bad. But
Ninja was actually one of the ones I was going to bring up, the first one, which I thought was really good.
I think this was Ninja 2, which I don't even know has anything to do with the first one. I think it's just...
I've heard great things about Ninja 2, actually.
Maybe I am getting the title wrong. It's one with Scott Adkins, anyway.
Ninja Shadow of a Tear. I loved it. I thought it had really good action sequences. Pretty straightforward story.
And is that the one like his wife gets attacked?
No, in the first one,
No, I didn't see the first one.
Okay. Well, yeah, the first one's really good.
Yeah. No, I don't think I saw the first one. Is that him? Is it Scott Adkins? He's in both? Okay. Yeah, well, I think it was the second one I was trying to watch, and I just could not get into the second one at all.
Is he in part 3?
I don't think there is a 3.
Oh, there's not? Okay, I thought I saw one. Oh, yeah, there is.
Oh.
Domination. They made it in 84.
Well, I didn't know you were talking about that.
That's awesome.
Hey, wait a minute. You're on the wrong series, right? Yeah. I'm slow to catch up.
But
it's kind of I like Michael Jai White, and he's like I said, it's kind of like a similar thing as Scott Adkins, as far as like his age and stuff, and when trends were changing. By the mid '90s, a lot of these guys were losing momentum and stuff, and maybe studios didn't want to, touch it.
Well, they went away
the
from action
movie
movies.
And the martial arts movie kind of fell off there in the mid to late 90s.
You can thank Tarantino for that.
Really?
I mean, Tarantino obviously, did Kill Bill and stuff, but once Pulp Fiction hit, that's what the studios wanted from then on, where these small, quirky indie films. That's why we got Trainspotting and all these other movies coming out. So therefore, all the every decade, things change, right? And they've been trying to do the action movies, but they're all going straight to video. The Rock probably had the greatest chance of being like the new Schwarzenegger, right? But his action movies weren't hitting. And then he found like another audience, so he went that way. But I mean, we could have gotten another one of those, but he went another way.
Well, he's doing the Fast and Furious. Those are probably the closest thing to it.
That's not Commando, though.
Right.
No. Yeah, but those days are just over.
Well, now he's doing 2 next year, Rampage and Skyscraper.
Yeah, and he comes in for all the sequels, right? I mean, he's in Journey 2, Jumanji 2.
G.I. Joe 2.
Yeah, G.I. Joe 2.
Yeah, because he pumps it up at the box office. It's like, what can we do that will, maybe inject some life and get more people interested? And that's really what it is.
Well, maybe they should cast him the first time. Yeah. Well, they tried that with San Andreas and Baywatch, and that didn't quite work out. So.
No, did not.
San Andreas, I think, was a hit because they want to do a sequel to it, and the director and him are making.
So that's a genre I've never liked. No matter the decade, I was never a disaster movie guy and stuff, and they seem to have had like a bit of a renaissance in the early 2000s. Or the late 90s and stuff, and I couldn't watch any of that, like Volcano and.
Well, they're all directed by Roland Emmerich, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But underrated, I don't know, like as far as like people that have had actually pretty good stellar action careers. It's mostly like foreign stuff. Like Chow Yun-fat is definitely an underrated action star, at least over here. In that, like, I think a lot of people aren't aware of his body of work, and even some of the more clunky ones he made over here. Like, I was gonna watch again. I haven't seen in a while, but it wasn't bad. Was the
cool?
Okay,
What TV show was he on?
What TV show was Chow Yun-fat on? He was on like some.
Aren't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's how he became popular. He was a soap star in the early '80s.
But from '92 to maybe '98, Chow Yun-fat was the man here in America.
Yeah.
People knew who he was in those like 6 years. Once Hard Boiled came over to the States, I mean, they were all about him. And then, I mean, they made The Corruptor. What was that other one he did?
I like Replacement Killers. This was what I was gonna say. Like, it's kind of underwhelming, but I would count it as sort of underrated too, because I
like that.
It has some good moments in it.
But then after Crouching Tiger, it was over. He just
he did Dragon Ball, that movie.
Yeah,
Dragon Ball.
Didn't he wind up in some awful movie with like Sean William Scott? Bulletproof Monk, isn't that him? I haven't seen it, but I have to assume that's like the like least dignified thing that's ever happened to him.
Yeah,
like we're gonna put him in a movie with Sean William Scott.
That ruined quite a few careers, I think.
Sadly, I saw it in the theater.
That's when they were trying to make Sean William Scott an action star. He did The Rundown as well. Remember? With The Rock.
I liked The Rundown fine. I kind of wish that The Rock had stuck with those sorts of roles, but as we said, he went a different way.
It's a fun movie.
Yeah, I enjoy The Rundown. Yeah, no. I was always pretty sure. Like, that's not a movie I ever bothered to see. I was like, well, that looks pretty terrible.
One of the big scenes is him giving wisdom about hot dog buns and hot dogs.
Yeah. Well, the
buns are sold by 10s. The hot dogs are sold by 8.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the fuck.
Oh my god.
The replacement. Exactly. And the replacement killers you can get on Blu-ray now for like $5 and a director's cut.
I recently got it on Blu-ray. I never do this. I don't do the dumpster diving stuff, but just because I like that movie, I got that. It was like a 2-pack, although I think it's the same fucking disc, which I hate. But with I asked you guys about the movie. Crap, what was it? It was something that like Kiefer Sutherland. It's the only movie he ever directed.
Truth and Consequences, New Mexico, or something.
I believe it's Truth or Consequences. So it's a 2-pack, and that's what's on the disc. It's Replacement Killers and Truth or Consequences, and I've yet to see that movie.
I've got the flipper disc of that, the cardboard piece of shit case.
Yeah.
But after the Chow Yun-fat craze happened, that's when I remember, what was it, 95, I think it was, Tarantino went on the MTV Movie Awards and started talking about Jackie Chan, and nobody in the audience knew who Jackie Chan was. And then he showed like a clip, like a 2-minute clip of all these movies he did. The next day, Jackie Chan is signed up for like a 6-picture deal in Hollywood, and that's when we got
Operation Condor.
They released.
That's when we got
Rumble in the Bronx, and
New Line Cinema.
And then because of that, then they brought over Jet Li to do Lethal Weapon, and then they started releasing his stuff, and so it became this whole thing.
Like I said, we talked about this on the Martial Arts show. That was kind of like a false start. It seemed really good, but it didn't last. It was a couple of years.
Well, they didn't know.
You must die.
Because American directors don't know how to film martial artists. I mean, they do so many cuts.
Really don't. They do so many cuts. They do it from too far away, and then they'll go way close, so you can't tell what's happening and stuff like that.
I like the Jason Bourne approach, though. There's a bunch of shit. There's a bunch of shit happening, and you can't see it at all, and you want to puke. It's like, look at all this shit and rolling cars.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to blame the Jason Bourne thing because I understand why they did it for that movie. They probably didn't know that everybody in the world was just going to copy it.
Well, I think
it's fine for Jason Bourne, but then like as soon as that movie came out, everyone's like, "This is the new way to choreograph any sort of physical fight scene," and you're like, "Oh, Scott Adkins is in the first one of those." Does anybody even remember that?
It's the new way because they don't have to train the actors. They can
right.
That way, the most talented martial artist.
Exactly right, and it's like Matt Damon's he's a level 6 black belt.
All right, Fat Damon. What are you gonna? You gonna karate chop somebody now?
You call him Fat Damon?
Fat Damon.
Yeah, Romeo Must Die. That's an interesting movie. Now that you guys mention it, because it's weird because it contains both. It has some of the good fighting, but it also shows the terrible style where everything looks awful and. Yeah, and that's where they're like, "Come on, Jet, just do a bunch of wire work. Just Who cares? And
I
you'd
just
be like,
remember-
"Fine, because you're paying me."
I just remember Kiss of the Dragon coming out with Bridget Fonda, and yeah, Jet Li. I remember at the time when Lethal Weapon 4 came out, Richard Donner had to tell him to move slower because
Yeah.
the camera couldn't pick him up.
Yeah. That's actually my
Jet
favorite.
Li in his prime was something to behold, man.
I was a huge fan of Jet Li in that period of time. So
Yeah.
I saw Kiss of the Dragon and I bought it as soon as it came out on DVD or VHS.
That's actually
whatever format
my
that is.
personal favorite Jet Li one. But that was the
Which one?
first one. Kiss of the Dragon.
You mean American or overall?
Honestly, overall, because
Wow.
I don't mind Fist of Legend, but Kiss of the Dragon was the first one I saw, so maybe that's the best.
What was the twin one called?
With Jackie Chan?
No, with Jet Li. He like
Because
fought-
every martial artist has to do a twin.
yeah.
Double
No,
Impact.
Double Impact too.
Was it? What, no, it was something else that like came out in the
I didn't know
2000s.
he did a twin. I
See, we
didn't-
can name all of them. Twin
Jim
Dragon,
Mike
Right.
Tyson, 6.
Double Impact.
I don't know. I think it starts with a U or something. Or
Okay.
get on that. What is it?
This is the Jet Li one.
We need
I'll,
a-
What are you looking at me for?
we need a fact checker.
I'll do it. This is the Jet Li one.
Yeah.
He did
Yeah.
a film called Twin Warriors.
Twin Warriors?
No.
Yeah.
It was in
Shaolin
the early
Monks?
2000s. It was in the,
Kung
I
Fu
think around
Panda?
2000, 2001.
Are you sure you're not thinking about the one,
It might be the one.
Oh, the one. I love that
Oh.
shit too.
which is awful?
can't
Man, I
believe
saw that in
forgot
theaters,
about
and like that was like the first time Jet Li let me down. Probably, like I saw that in theaters, and I just walked out like shaking my head, like what a piece of garbage that was.
I walked out with a.
I remember it. I remember at Fangoria convention they were giving out the one T-shirts.
Because yeah, I assume that's the one you mean because the timing
Yeah.
lines up, and
Okay,
it's not
yeah.
twins, but he goes from. It's one of those dimension hopping movies.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
like an evil version of himself from another dimension has realized if he kills off the other versions of himself, he becomes
Right.
more powerful. And
That's
that's
what I
how
meant.
like
Twin.
one of his selves has to fight him.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's awful.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
it's
mean,
got-
he did Unleashed. He did Unleashed a few years later, and
But
won
then
me
they-
back because Unleashed is great.
Now didn't they?
Yeah.
And then they released it as Donnie the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Danny the dog. Yeah.
Or Danny the dog, whatever. What do we think of the Protector? Do we like those guys? We like that guy. What's that
I like
guy's name? What's his name? Tony Jaa.
Jaa.
Yeah.
Tony Jaa. Tony
I like
Jaa
the-
has done like maybe 2.5 good films ever.
I like Unbach. I like The Protector. And I like.
Oh, he was an unbox? Okay.
Yeah, that's what introduced
And I
him.
like
And like, and
to-
that's again part of the false start that gave me hope. I was like,
Yeah.
because some of these guys like Jet Li and stuff are getting older. I was like, here's the new guy,
And what's the?
and he's just amazing. And
But then he did like The Protector too, and that's where you have like lightsaber sounds.
Yeah.
When
yeah,
he's
there's a bunch
fighting
of-
on the railroad
it's
track.
ridiculous.
And what's those
Something.
three? What's those that trilogy? where
Unbach.
it's- No, is about like the guy that's supposedly Bruce Lee's master, but they couldn't.
Ip Man.
Which
Oh,
one?
Ip Man. Ip
Yeah.
Man. Okay,
But
okay,
they're
this is
not-
hard.
But they're not allowed to
Donnie
talk
Yen.
about Bruce Lee. They're legally they can't talk about Bruce Lee in those movies. So they have to like skate around all the facts.
When I first saw that, I didn't realize. I was like, "Who are they talking about?" And I like
Yeah,
just
there's-
fucking
I thought-
Bruce Lee. Okay.
There's a lot of Ip Mans, and it's hard to keep them straight. But like, just the ones that are called 1, 2, and 3 are all great because
Right.
they're Donnie Yen, and people don't need to hear me orgasming over Donnie Yen again. But he's like my favorite action star probably ever.
Hey,
Are those good movies?
Yeah.
His are
Especially the
great.
first two.
You
His
want to know
are
what was
great.
awesome that Cole recommended to me? Flashpoint. Holy shit, that movie
Yeah,
is awesome.
and that's 2007, man. Like
Yep.
he's like 48 in that movie or something, and he's incredible. Flashpoint. Yeah, I can't recommend that one enough.
Yeah, watch that one. Yeah.
But what I was gonna say, but then they make, and he didn't even want to do the third one because like all this because of I guess maybe an anniversary of Bruce's death or something was coming up, and all this Ip Man stuff was happening. So like he wanted to get out because, as I'm sure you've noticed, they made several other Ip Man movies with other actors. There was like a prequel one. There's one where he's an old guy called The Final Fight and stuff. And I watched them, and there's nothing wrong with them, but they're not the same standard and stuff. But just to get people on board for Ip Man more, Ip Man 2 is basically like Rocky 4, except in like China.
Yeah,
It's so awesome
that's true.
because you've got like this big guy that comes in and he doesn't respect their culture and he like starts beating everybody up and killing everybody. That guy's dead too, isn't he? That actor. The guy that played the big British boxer. I think
Forget
he's
the
dead.
actor's name.
Because he's the second actor to play Kano, and they're both are dead.
Oh, okay.
Both actors who played Kano in in Mortal Kombat adaptations have died, and he was the second one. He was in that cool web show. What is it? I used to watch it a lot. Anyway, the web show, the Mortal Kombat web show that I'm sure some people
Legacy.
Yeah, I guess it's Legacy. Anyway, he was Kano in that, but he was also the big British boxer in it on too. And I think he died a couple of years ago. I can't remember how. So yeah, but that's just a fact. I remember that both actors that portrayed Kano actually died shortly thereafter. It's kind of a bummer.
You know, what's really gonna suck is that new Tomb Raider movie. Did you guys see the trailer for that?
I've only seen the poster.
Oh my god!
I did.
Oh my
I didn't
lord!
see it.
Oh my lord! Yeah, they released the trailer for the new Tomb Raider movie, starring Alicia Vikander.
Who's that?
Wow, she's an Oscar winner. So you know when you're casting Lara Croft, you got to get the Oscar winners now to play.
No, I prefer
Oscar for what?
I mean, the reboot of the games are good. Like Tomb Raider and Rise of the Tomb Raider are good. I thought it was based on that, like a younger, a younger, less buxom Lara Croft.
I'll give it a chance because I love the games, but I like Angelina Jolie in the shower.
Let's say this: if Angelina Jolie's Lara Croft movie is Indiana Jones, all right, then this is Alan Quartermain in the Lost City of Gold.
Ouch.
Well, this woman does look like the Tomb Raider from the current games.
Yeah, that's all I know.
I'm talking about the tone of the trailer.
I'm not watching the trailer or the movie.
I'll watch the trailer, but I haven't watched the trailer yet.
We got to get Piz to watch the Death Wish trailer. That's one of the most horrific trailers I've ever seen.
Don't you love how they play Back in Black over it? Because it's just like, I guess that's their tone for it too. It's just he's killing people. Like you can laugh at the original Death Wish and say like it's silly, and it is, but it takes itself seriously.
Yeah,
it has a dark, gritty tone about like a dark, gritty story,
and it's realistic. The first one's realistic.
What's everyone's favorite Death Wish film? I'm gonna go 3.
Everybody says 3. I've never even seen 5. The Crackdown. I haven't even seen those.
No, 4 is the Crackdown.
5 is 1, 2, and 3.
5 is the one I think he kills someone with a remote control or something.
What's the one where it says they were just already and then he throws the...
My favorite is
Death Wish 5 has Michael Parks.
Kinjin Forbidden Subjects.
What's the one where it says they were just kids and he throws a big bag of coke at some guy and shoots them all? Which one's that?
That's all of them.
That's all of them.
The part 7 is when he was already riddled with dementia.
They went up that far.
No, it's 5.
Like that.
Because I remember years ago on The Simpsons, they made a joke about them making a 5, and then they did actually make one. It's like Death Wish 5. He's like in a hospital bed. Oh yeah, I wish I was dead.
And
then they went now.
Was that on the Critic or something?
It was on Simpsons.
Oh, okay.
If Master of Horror filmmaker Eli Roth, see, Orc, that's how you say it.
Thank you, sir.
If he really wanted to transform. If you really want to transform Death Wish, you don't cast Bruce Willis. You cast Jeff Goldblum in the role, because that would have been epic. Because in the first one, it would make it full circle. You know,
that's a sequel. He changed his ways and became a vigilante.
It's a soft reboot, Rambo.
I mean, for years I've tried to hang on to whatever goodwill that Bruce Willis built up in my life, but it's gone now. I cannot stand the guy, and I don't want to see him.
Wasn't Larry Fishburne one of the
second one?
The hooligans? Yeah.
I think he just shot in the face with the stereo.
Have you guys seen the shout release for Death Wish 2? Can we confirm if it's actually the uncut version?
I haven't seen it.
No.
Oh, but I remember
I've only seen those movies on TV. So I've kind of
Death Wish 2 got an X rating. I mean, really. I mean, it's.
I think for the rape scene mainly.
Oh yeah, I want to see an extended rape scene.
And real quickly, the guy Cole was talking about was Darren Shalavi. That was his name.
Oh,
he was Kano, because he was in that kickboxer movie with Van Damme, that new one.
Speaking of Rocky IV, Cole, you know that Ivan Drago is coming back, right?
Yeah, they should have done that instead of Creed.
Yeah,
they should have done that instead of Creed. They should have skipped right to the Drago.
That's so dumb. He's gonna fight Ivan Drago in Creed 2. That's so stupid.
Who's gonna fight?
Isn't it his son? Isn't it his son?
Yeah,
he's
gonna avenge his dad.
each other.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be Ivan Drago.
He's gonna fight Drago himself.
Yeah, he's gonna fight.
That's.
He has no chance.
Michael B. Jordan's going to die.
Come on,
Yeah.
Rambo. Hearts.
It's like, I don't care if 35 years has passed.
He
He's still going to
punched
kill you.
Stallone's heart his chest so hard, his heart went in another place.
Listen,
I
What
could
are they going to do
change.
to Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah.
It's going to knock his brain loose.
You
What-
can change.
Whatever he hits, he destroys.
That's
Exactly.
Guys.
Yeah.
Still
It shouldn't be called Creed 2. It should just be called Drago.
Woo! I like
I would
that.
see
Drago
that.
kills.
I would see a
Fucking
movie
kills.
about Ivan Drago.
Better than
Ivan
Machete
Drago.
kills. Drago kills.
It's just Ivan Drago, like a day in the life of. He's just like going to the supermarket and stuff.
That'd
Like
be
they should have. Like, did anybody like wonder what happened to Drago after that? Anyway, like, was that the end of his career? Did he go, "Oh, I lost to Rocky, so I guess I won't box anymore"?
I would
like,
So,
I'd
Well,
like to
I-
think that he went around and became the heavyweight champion because he
See,
was
I-
obviously the best.
See, I thought they just took him to Siberia and left him there.
Yeah, I know. They were like, "You have failed the communist system."
Well, I like
Dust-
to
Dust
think
Vidania.
the sequel is Red Scorpion. See, because Spetsnaz, and then he became a soldier, and then he died with MM and Walsh, and
that's an underrated action.
That movie's, yeah, that movie's actually not bad. Like,
yeah, I like that movie. So that's why I have an Ivan Drago. He became Spetsnaz.
that's that. Yeah,
I
I
like
can see that.
movie.
I can see that.
I mean, guy who directed Invasion USA, Friday 13th Part 4, Joseph Zito.
Mhm.
I like him as a director. I don't know
Yeah.
what he's done in the past 10, 20 years. But
Hey,
I'm gonna guess TV.
you know what? The Prowler is very well directed. There's, it's
good
he
going.
always says he likes that movie over his Friday the 13th movie.
Hmm. Okay.
Probably because he had
Movie?
more. He said it at the Fangoria when I was there.
Oh,
He was
okay.
talking to the audience, and he said I was talking about the Prowler. He goes, I'm more proud of that than I am the Friday the 13th movie. Maybe because he got to put more of what he wanted in the movie, and Friday the 13th got cut.
Oh, okay.
Probably. I don't know. He didn't say that, but I can only assume. I'm just trying to figure out why a dog commits suicide in Friday the 13th Part 4, like jumps out the window.
That movie has no flaws. There's a good reason, I'm sure. I just can't remember.
Maybe he thought it was Michael Myers and was going to eat him.
Oh yeah.
So he's like, they're going to jump out the window.
He got hungry. And then Rob Zombie in
Was
Part
Michael
2, like,
Myers
shows
eating
the-
dogs in the Rob Zombie movies? I can't even remember. He probably
He did in the
was.
second one. And
Oh,
they,
of course.
They show it.
Yeah, I'd say I blocked it from my memory. I saw both of those movies exactly once in the theater.
Me
I
too.
saw the second one in the theater.
Me too.
As much as I hated the first one, I was just like, well, all that origin bullshit's over, so they'll just get down to business now. Nope. But anyway,
The funny
This
thing
is
is,
crystal meth. Not even once.
but we own them. We all own them.
Yeah, but when
Box
you're
set,
reaching
yeah.
for them, you're like,
If I had the
don't
box
wanna
set,
do-
if I buy the box set, I promise I'll throw them directly in the garbage. I'll film it if people want to see it.
It's like
I kept him.
Go ahead.
I kept him because I think one day the Sausage Factory will do a commentary on them. I'm
Yeah.
just waiting for the days. We're running out Halloween films each year.
I will have to drink heavily
Yeah,
if we do that, man.
Well, drunken commentary. That's the first.
Look, I'm not. Oh my god! As much as I don't like a lot of the aspects of the Rob Zombie movies, I can't stomach Resurrection though. I can't do it.
Oh, Resurrection's all just doesn't take anything seriously. It's just a
I've seen that one only once as well.
Yeah. That's what I want to say to the people. I'm sure you guys already talked about this, but the people that are excited that Jamie Lee Curtis is back. I'm like, don't you remember the last time she was in Resurrection? So was that some sort of symbol of amazing quality too?
No, she
These
had to
people are
do
just
it.
I'm really excited that Jamie Lee Curtis is coming back, as if this proves anything. I'm not saying the
Yeah.
movie can't be good, but don't take that as fine.
When she came back in H2O, the Weinstein signed her to a contract saying she had to do another one, and she had
Yeah.
only agreed to do it if they killed her off. And they wrote, I mean, listen, I don't like the scene. I think it's a terrible scene, but it is the best 10 minutes of Resurrection. So-
I like when he gives
I've
the mask
done
to
the
the
worst
back
10
guy.
minutes because I can laugh at Busta Rhymes. Trick or treat, motherfucker.
Ugh.
It makes me laugh. It's not good, but it makes me
Yeah.
laugh.
I agree with that.
The only
Jane Lecter's
thing,
dying,
the only
pissed
positive
me off.
thing that movie accomplished was it made me like H2O a little more, because I don't like H2O, but I was just like, well, at least it's not this. H2O is just, well, I've said it a million times, but it's just, it's a slasher for the masses. It's like, we'll just
Another
water it
dude.
down and make it it might as well have been PG-13, man.
Now
The
you
way
got
they watered
H4
it down.
on.
It had like one sort of brutal kill with the girl that gets like, you know, in the little what is it, dumbwaiter and stuff like that. But like the rest is all, you know, just a bunch of MTV PG-14 stuff with LL Cool J thrown in for good measure.
It's
going to be a erotic thriller. I'm going to write an erotic thriller.
Hey, I'll take that over. Michael Myers ain't no sound bite.
Yeah.
See, that makes me laugh. So.
Of course he's not. He doesn't talk.
See, that's hilarious.
Yeah. He's not a soundbite at all.
He does talk in Rob Zombie's movie.
Yeah, of course he does.
The second movie.
Although I would actually watch
It
like
is a soundbite.
an episode of TV if they did a reality show where they unleashed Michael Myers into a house with a bunch of kids and just watch them die. The real survivor. That'd be awesome.
Sure.
Are we talking about actual deaths here?
So this new Halloween is supposed to come out for around October of next year, like 2018.
Yeah.
So it's like 4 years after the first one. It's supposed to have Jamie Lee Curtis,
Gross.
and it's going to be like written and directed by Danny McBride.
No, he's
He's
writing
writing it, and the guy who directed Pineapple Express and the sitter.
Oh,
forget the guy's
hate
name.
Pineapple Express. That's a movie that everybody loves, and
and
I
the
can't
new
stand.
and the new one too with Jake Gyllenhaal, Stronger, the one about the Boston Marathon.
Oh, I
Yeah.
haven't seen that.
Oh, never heard of it.
So that's really odd, but I'm not going to comment on it. It seems like a very odd setup, but who
Mhm.
knows?
Well,
Already
they
going to sleep.
they like the Jason Blum model: make a movie for $3 million, make 500 million worldwide. So
That's a great model.
yeah, I wish more.
Business wise, but
Well, yeah, I mean they're able to take a lot of chances because they're making movies so dirt cheap, and things like Saw and Paranormal Activity. I know you guys were talking about those earlier. Those paved the way. So that, and then something like Get Out comes out and blows up. So every
Still haven't
time a
seen
movie,
that.
every time one of those blow up, you get Jason Blum. He makes like 300 movies a year, and he goes, we don't even decide until they're done whether they go to theatrical, streaming, or so they don't have a model of like who's going to go where. They just see what comes in and what the quality is.
and they'll go direct to Google Play like that. Amityville movie.
Those make more money than the theatrical movies sometimes. I mean, that's why what's his name, Jason, the guy that, oh God, what's his name, the guy from the Expendables and all those other movies.
Jason Statham.
He makes like 60 movies a year going straight to cable.
Yeah.
So
I don't think anybody mentioned him as an underrated action guy because he's a shit
He's a
action
bit
guy.
overrated, I think.
well,
He's like the new sort of breed of action guy. Like I don't have anything against him personally. Just
you can thank
like
John
his
Carpenter
movies.
for that, because before, when he was in Lock, Stock, no one really took issue with him until Carpenter put him in Ghost of Mars, and then he kind of blew up after that.
which is weird because Ghost of Mars is so fucking awful.
I think it's.
I would say it was the first Transporter movie.
I think Transporter 2 has a really good sequence in it. A really good fight sequence.
I think
Yep.
he got the transporter and all that because he came to America and started, he
Oh,
did
okay.
that. He did that, and then he did the Italian job, and then got the
I mean, I loved him in
so.
Snatch, but
I like the first two Transporters. I like the two Crank movies.
They're not bad.
The two Crank movies
Uh,
are insane.
I can't
Yeah.
watch the Frank movies.
Yeah.
They're too far for me. I mean, I'm not going to pick on them because they're they are what they are. But
What do you think of those directors, Rambo? The guys who did Naval Dean Tyler, they did Gamer and all that, and
Ghost
the-
Rider.
Ghost Rider
Well,
2, yeah.
Well, Ghost Rider 2 is
part
shit,
2.
but I know one of them's doing a film with Nick Cage was fun, Mom and Dad, the one where the parents try to kill all the kids and Nick Cage stars in it.
wow,
So-
I've never heard of that, but that's not surprising.
That's
That sounds
coming
like
to a
Nick Cage
Walmart
these
near you.
days.
Yeah.
It's been getting
That's
good
like where Nick
reviews.
Cage lives
It
now.
sounds
Like
good.
just
That's
what's
what
Nick Cage been doing lately? I'll just go to Walmart and find out.
I've told many filmmakers, you know what? You can, don't fret too much about your movie. Every movie goes to the Walmart bin. So
Yeah, but you love those Walmart exclusives.
They don't all start there, though.
Yeah, the ones that start there.
pretty good comeback, Jay.
And there's a big difference between the $5 bin and the $3.94 bin. Huge difference.
Yeah, you don't want to be in one of those Walmart six packs, right?
I can never
No.
find anything at Walmart.
No, like a Walmart 20 pack.
Steve's in a lot of those
Shit out of
six
you.
packs.
What did you say, Rambo?
I said Steven Seagal's in a lot of those 6-packs.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Oh man.
But I do like some of the 6-packs because you get like, all 6 Children of the Corn movies, and sometimes they'll have room and they'll throw in like H2O or something like at random.
I think that's how I got like the first 4 or 5 Amityville horrors. I think I got those like in a pretty darn cheap set. Like, yeah, they're crap, but I like the first 2 a lot. So
yeah, I got all 9 Puppet Masters for $4.95 at Walmart.
Yeah, that Orc. I know you're a big Puppet Master fan. Orc's the only person I know that's seen all of them. You've seen all of them too, Cameron?
No, I haven't, but I have sat through all the Hellraiser.
Oh God!
So have I.
We're talking about some real shit now.
Yeah.
Well,
Hellraiser really makes me sad because it does originate with Clive Barker.
Yeah.
Clive Barker's one of my idols. I love Clive Barker.
Really? You gonna pay $250 for the Nightbreed Cabal set?
Yes, But Clive Barker is a writer who writes things, and I read them. I don't watch things that are weird approximations of something he wrote 30 years ago that have gone through 18 different writers and directors.
You don't want to see Chubby Pinhead?
Not really.
Oh my God!
That one?
See, honestly, they could do a decent Hellraiser remake. Just remake the first one with some better effects and budget and stuff, and it will be okay. But it would just be a terrible Pandora's box of even more horrifying sequels.
You opened it, and I came.
Yeah, right on your face.
Was that a burger?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
No. I had to sit through all of them because I was contacted when the Dimension was trying to do another Hellraiser thing. They were contacting freelance writers to come up with screenplay ideas for the thing, and I was one of the people.
I wish they contacted me.
They contacted me, and so. But I hadn't seen
Very well.
anything. I hadn't seen anything past part 3, so I was like, "Oh crap! Now I got to watch them all." And so even though they were all like their own screenplays, and they just threw Pinhead in, my idea is always to even if I just slightly reference it, I would like to do something that feels coherent in that world. So I had to sit through all 9 of them. And
they're all like detective stories, right? They just throw in the middle of it.
One's like Hell World with Lance Henriksen and Henry Cavill from this play Superman, and they're in in a house in a video game being chased by Pinhead. No, but I mean, there's a couple decent little ones in there. They're not all terrible. But Hellraiser 9 is god awful. That movie was made in 3 days. Is
there anything that's a 9 that's good outside of maybe a video game? Are there any movies where the 9th installment is where it picks up again at 9?
They wrote the script in 5 days, then they shot it in 3 days and edited it in 5 days, and it was playing in the theater 3 weeks after they came up with the idea.
Wow. That's gonna be some kind of fucking record, man.
Yeah. I saw that one.
Meanwhile,
Lord.
Meanwhile, independent filmmakers struggle and stuff. Their movies will never get wide theatrical releases and stuff like that. But this is built in for name recognition.
Well, they had to do it to keep the rights.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
I wish they'd lost the rights.
I wish they'd lost the rights. That would have been the best thing.
How much money?
I think I caught this earlier. Ramarath said, it would be good to let certain things die. Some series can just end,
Yeah.
That piece of shit Doug Bradley wants $20 more. Fuck him.
But if you go to a convention, dude, he's super fun around 11 o'clock at night because he's hammered and you can just shoot the shit with him. And then the next day
Probably because he's so amused that this is his life. He has the dumbest, easiest, shittiest acting role in the world that makes him really famous for some reason, and he gets to do this. What a hard job that must be.
But the next morning in the hotel restaurant, he's always there eating his oatmeal, so you can always join him, I didn't know oatmeal was the cure for hangovers, but apparently it is.
Okay.
I can't blame him for having a steady gig. It's a good thing to have, but man.
Well, he quit.
I pictured him being like a moon over my hammy type guy.
Oh, he quit. How many movies did that take? 11?
8.
Then he was. Oh, 8. 8 was where he drew the line. He's like, I've suddenly realized that the quality and.
Well, I asked him about the Pinhead voice. I was like, how come in episodes or whatever an episode, movie 1 and 2, he's sounds like a commanding general, and then when you get to part 3, he's like, "Give me the box, girl!" He's always screaming. It's awful. And he said that because when it went from New World to Dimension, they lost all the audio like pitches to pitch his voice that way, and they didn't even care to fix it. So now from 3 on, it's his regular voice, but in 1 and 2, that's why he's always like, "It is not hands that call us," you know. That kind of it's so like you're in awe of him when he walks in the room. He's like, "Wait," and all that. But by the time you get to part 4, he's just like, "Where's the box?"
Pardon? Have you seen the box?
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't blame him. Hey, Cole, if you could figure out a way to make that kind of easy money, you would too.
Yeah, like I said, I don't blame him. Just saying. If I do think I would draw the line a bit earlier, but like I said, it's a steady gig, so there you go. But
I think the next Pinhead needs to be at least 7 feet tall.
Ooh.
I just mean, it's always crazy. Like, you should
Tyler
never
Mane.
underestimate the fandom of anything, because like I just can't imagine being impressed by meeting the guy that played Pinhead. Like, I don't.
They'll
Slam
do a
dunk
female
Pinhead.
Pinhead.
We should get Tyler Mane. He's not doing Halloween anymore.
It'll be the girl from fucking Force Awakens.
So how far along is this Halloween movie? Like, are they shooting? Is it even been shot or?
Which one?
I don't think
The
they
new
started
Halloween.
production yet, have they?
They haven't
No.
started shooting. They're
So
just
nothing's
casting.
been shot, but
No.
the
They're
script is
casting.
finished, supposedly.
Well, it's enough to get Jamie Lee Curtis on board, and John
Well,
Carpenter's
a
involved. So.
paycheck is enough to get her on board, I'm sure.
True, but she's also got to be thinking to herself, like, "God damn, Resurrection was horrific. I need to redeem myself." So.
So, are we gonna get like a
Yeah.
big announcement from John Carpenter, like when James Cameron like announced to the world how great he thought Genesis was? Like,
Well, John Carpenter is apparently doing the music for this movie. I'll believe it when I see it.
yeah,
Yeah, then James Cameron.
he'll just
changed his
recycle some
mind
shit he
after the
did like
film.
15 years ago, and he'll be like, "Yeah, that's good enough." Everybody like, "Brilliant, classic Carpenter."
I just want to see on the poster like the John Carpenter stamp of approval, like like, this movie's amazing. Watch it. 2 joints up.
I would just watch his Christine music video that he made.
Yeah, be thankful we haven't gotten the remake of Christine yet. So
It's coming, I'm sure.
Yep. Now that Stephen King's on the map again.
oh yeah, come on, $300 million for it worldwide in the first week.
Yeah.
It's nice to
All
see.
kinds of terrible things coming out with his name on it.
Yeah.
Lawnmower Man 3, baby. Let's do it.
Talk about things with his name on it, like Lawnmower Man 3, like might be the weirdest example.
Have
I
you
bet
seen
you we
Lawnmower Man 2 by any chance?
No.
What?
Lawnmower Man 2?
What about it?
That exists? That's
Yeah.
a thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen it.
I wasn't sure if you were joking when you said 3. I had no idea if there was a 2 or
No,
not.
2 is
I'm not
Yeah,
surprised.
I've seen it. It's
2 is awful.
Sounds about right.
I've never seen any of them. Does the guy
the
kill
guy
people
who was
with a
Max
lawnmower?
Headroom who stars in it. That's cool.
It's a virtual reality movie, Orc.
Oh, okay.
The guy that was in Honey and Shrunk the Kids and Max Headroom. He's the
The
Jeff
Cheerio
Fahey.
guy. The Cheerio
I mean, like, none of those have aged well. I mean, those weird, like, virtual reality 90s movies. Like,
Virtuosity or The Net.
I'll
Yeah.
bet you, you know, because Stephen King used to have that thing where you
I actually like those movies.
you pay him $1.
I like Virtuosity.
You pay him $1 and you get the rights to his. I bet you that could be a Sausage Factory exclusive. We could do a Kickstarter for $1 and get the rights to Lawnmower Man. Make Lawnmower
oh,
Man.
we were already doing Children of the Corn, because weren't you there for that?
I don't think they'll do that.
Oh, I think so.
anymore.
We're already doing Children of the Corn.
Oh yeah.
We're in
have to-
pre-production.
I have to find the script. I
But
wrote
why don't we
15 years
combine
ago.
Children of the Corn and Lawnmower Man?
Yeah.
We can just if we do Children of the Corn 10 with Lawnmower Man 3. I mean, right there we got a Walmart 6
We have
pack.
to
right?
deprogram the Children of the Corn with VR technology.
If we do that, Cole plays Isaac.
I was gonna say we need an Isaac. There's no way. Yeah, and obviously my version has an Isaac.
Cole,
so
you're
this
playing-
Isaac could be some sort of virtual reality type monster, like that guy in Tron with the big head.
You
Okay,
guys
like,
are giving way too much away, by the way.
I know.
Let's
Well, you know.
keep it under wraps.
Is anybody watching this stream?
Oh,
Cole,
Cole,
are you gonna be Isaac or Malachi? You get your choice of roles here.
Ooh.
I'm a little old for both.
He who walks behind the rows will be virtual. It'll actually be Sonic the Hedgehog.
No, it'll just be
So
So
that's-
Orc.
those are
It'll
right.
just be-
Can't afford.
It'll just be Orc crawling through the cornfield.
He who walks behind the rolls.
He who walks behind the orc. Oh man,
He
you
who
know,
walks behind the meme. The dank meme.
Nice meme.
You walk behind the dank meme.
Hey, well, we're shooting in your backyard, Rambo.
And by the way, we're not gonna shoot this in Iowa. We're gonna go to Bulgaria for 6 weeks.
Yeah. Well, the first one was in
Corner,
Nebraska,
right?
so you still have to go to Nebraska.
What are you doing in my backyard?
Well, we'll go to Nebraska and get some establishing shots. No one will know we're there shooting exteriors, and then we'll go for Bulgaria for the sets. So
Yeah.
and we'll just cast Eastern European people to do Iowan accents.
that actually sounds pretty funny.
Yeah, I like it.
Be dubs later, yeah.
Being dubbed by the Sausage Factory. Or can you get all the female leads? Okay.
That's fine. Wait.
Give us a sample.
This weird place. Oh.
You sound like the Swiss Miss Maid.
Speaking of which, Linda Hamilton is in the first
Yes.
one, and now that's the other one who's coming back. Linda Hamilton's going to be in Terminator, so that immediately legitimizes it to a bunch of morons.
But isn't she the Terminator?
Oh, I don't know. Probably.
I think she is.
They need some new idea. I'm sure they think that'll blow people's minds.
What?
She's a Terminator.
What the fuck is she the Terminator for?
Because they completely run out of ideas, and it's just we'll just do what they did on that Battlestar Galactica show. Everybody eventually was a robot in that, right?
Because
Everybody was a Cylon.
now, Jay, she gets to look right at the camera and say, "Come with me if you want to live." Oh, see.
She's the only person left, right? It starts with Reese. Kyle Reese says it.
Why don't they bring him
Twice.
back? Bring him back.
He has a pretty severe drinking problem.
Oh, Michael Biehn? Well, we don't need him. I just thought you meant Kyle Reese. Although, then again, you're right. We've seen how bad they could do Kyle Reese with the worst actor I've ever seen in my entire life.
Moonface.
Yeah, the old Moonface. What is it? Courtney.
Jai Courtney.
Jai Courtney.
Yeah, from the Suicide Squad.
Even his name is ridiculous, man. Blank-faced moron. Man.
He studied at Juilliard. What are you talking about?
I have no idea. I don't know how he could ever have passed an audition at any level for anything. He couldn't play a mannequin, man.
He fucking studied with Hooked on Fathers. That's what he studied on.
What else has he done? He's done other stuff, right?
Die Hard 5.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good Day to Die.
It's freaking awful in that.
Good Day to Suck Hard.
He was in Divergent.
Him and Bruce Willis
Insurgent.
just exchanging terrible dialogue.
Well, I know they're doing Die Hard 6. This is supposedly going to finish the series off.
Man, what the fuck is going on here? what?
As we said, no series end. They all have to keep going, and they have to come up with.
That's why I said this has to. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, Rambo.
No, I had nothing.
Oh, I was going to say John Landis said. I remember at Fangoria one time, he told everyone back in 1992, a friend of mine was there, videotaped the whole thing because it was before the internet. So you could bring your big-ass camera in there and shoot everybody on stage. And John Landis says, the only thing that can ever kill Freddy or Jason is box office. Right. and that's true. It will keep going until the audience says enough.
But they did die out.
Well, I didn't go to either of the last Die Hards in theater. I would like to say I did my part. I did not go to Live Free or Die Hard, and I certainly didn't go to whatever the hell the other one was.
A Good Day to Die Hard.
A Good Day to Die Hard, which is in Russia for some goddamn reason.
A Good Day to Die Hard is not. Wait, is that the last one?
Yeah.
Okay, the one before the last one was not as bad.
No, I liked.
No, it's not as bad. Actually, my main complaint about that was it just didn't feel like a Die Hard movie. It just felt like a different movie with different characters. They were saying John McClane, but it didn't really seem that much like John.
Well, he was bald. He didn't have hair.
Yeah. I don't know. Justin Long has the ability to just throw movies completely out of whack anyway. His presence is very distracting in movies for me.
But isn't the new one supposed to be a prequel?
Oh, shut up.
It was supposed to be a prequel sequel, a Godfather.
That's what I heard.
A Godfather 2. They were going to show the beginnings of John McClane and then also a modern story.
Which makes no fucking sense. Just the beginning of John McClane was Die Hard.
Yeah.
That's the point.
The whole point was, he'd never done anything like that before.
It's just him as a beat cop. It's like a really boring movie.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
You make fists with your toes. I mean, he wasn't used to action, right? So. Yeah.
He's a meter maid.
Oh, I hope they do another brilliant casting choice, like when they had what's his name, play the young version of him in Looper.
Joseph
Remember?
Gordon-Levitt.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Like, I mean, I get it in movies. You can't be perfect. But, I mean, you can't... To tell me that he ages into Bruce Willis, I was like, their ear structure is different, for God's sakes.
And that's the director of the new Star Wars movie.
The guy that did Looper?
Yep.
Well, most
Oh,
people
man.
love him and love Looper, so whatever. I don't think Looper's bad. I just don't think it was any good either. So I'm sure plenty of people are thrilled. They're like, that's great. The guy that did Looper yeah, I'm sure they think that's great.
I'm sure. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I wish we had Mike on the show because I want to hear him talk about the fact that J.J. Abrams coming back for 9.
Why is it that everything we're talking about, these properties, they're all like from the 80s?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's nothing new is coming out.
I know. Where's the new Die Hard? Isn't there going to be like a nice, cool action series with a memorable lead that starts now? That starts now?
Okay, it's not underrated, but wouldn't you say the Raid movies are pretty damn good as action movies for modern day?
Yeah, you know me.
We talked about it earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, because they were remaking that one.
Oh, the Remaking.
yeah.
What the fuck, man?
They already did called Dread.
I was going to use Dread as an example of an underrated action movie lately. It's because, I mean, I guess it did really poorly in the box office because I enjoyed that movie thoroughly.
Yeah.
And would have really liked to have seen a sequel.
Everybody who discovered it found it on video or Blu-ray or whatever. So.
I saw it in theater, so I did my part for that one too.
I saw it in the theater. That was a good experience in the theater.
I heard the 3D was great in the theater.
3D
It
was
was.
great. Like, I mean, it's a bit gimmicky because the whole point is they're using this drug that slops. But I mean, it looks good in 3D, right?
Yeah, like blood would hit you in the face and stuff. Really cool.
But no.
But no one saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they might be
when I
doing
saw
Netflix
it, I went
series.
with Ryan, and like there was nobody in there with us. There was like maybe 6 or 7 people scattered around the theater. With
I know
us.
they talked to the actor. What's his name again?
All urban.
Carl Urban. They talked to Carl Urban.
He was awesome.
About doing a Dread Netflix series in that style, with that hardcore violence, and
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I saw the trailer to that Punisher one, and that looked.
I don't see why that would be
awesome.
hard to like greenlight. Like people love like comic book stuff these days, or at least the idea. Of it. They love the idea of it.
Well, Netflix has to pick up the steam because they're losing all their Disney properties very soon. So.
I know, which is sad.
The new Punisher looks fucking badass. Oh man.
I know, but that seems to suggest that there won't be like a second season of that, even if it's amazing.
Well, he was in the Daredevil season 2.
Yeah, I know that's how he was introduced, but now he's
Right.
going to get his own show, as it should be. I mean, it'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I have to give him credit again because, like, I was not sold on the actor. Like, he still isn't the way I picture Frank Castle. He's not really the right size or look, but I didn't really mind because it was just done really well.
I don't have a problem with that.
Right.
I always got hung up on whenever they, made a live action movie of a comic character because I'm like, they're too small. Their muscles are 10 times that size. But, obviously they're real people and they're not,
They're not drugs.
Well, yeah,
in nature.
yeah, exactly. And
Well, that's what
like
they
I
all
said, it's just like, I mean, when they took that too far, they're like, "Oh, we know what you want." Arnold Schwarzenegger is Victor Freeze, because that's our example of a big pumped up comic guy, Victor Freeze. Like,
Well, then they tried to do like Jason Momoa as Conan, and it's like, on paper it looks right, but in execution it's not Arnold.
If that wasn't
now
a remake,
he's
Conan,
Aquaman, right?
Yeah.
He's Aquaman.
I don't care. Like, I know people might not expect this of the resident comic book geek, but I kind of feel the way about Aquaman as much as the casual person feels about Aquaman, that he's kind of a fucking joke.
I mean, I don't understand how he's out of the water and like doing shit. Like he's supposed to be in the water, isn't that his thing?
Well, he is Waterman, right?
Yeah.
He should
I
stay
mean,
in
that
the
is his
water where
name.
it belongs.
Yeah, but like go talk to fish or some shit. Like in the water though. Like you can't be out like blowing up buildings. Like get in the
I
water.
will say that the animated movie Throne of Atlantis is one of the best things you'll see him as, but really the best one is the other animated one. It's the one based on Flashpoint. He's really awesome in that because it's like the alternate Flashpoint thing where he's like he and what is it? It's like this alternate thing where he and Diana were like married and it was like this big alliance, but then like I think he cheated on her, so they've been at war and stuff. And like he's so crazy badass in that. It's like the best thing is Aquaman is the
Carrie
Flashpoint.
Elwes was the voice. Guy from The Princess Bride. Carrie Elwes.
Was he the one who did Aquaman? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. As we discussed before, it's funny that like DC's live action movies are so bad because their animated ones are really good for the most part. But,
And then Marvel's the opposite.
and Marvel can't do an animated one to save their lives.
Yeah.
Like they have a couple passable ones, the Hulk versus, which isn't really a movie; it's just 2 vignettes.
Well, everyone wants George Miller to make another Mad Max movie. Other people want him to do a DC movie. I say he should do a sequel reboot of Waterworld because that'd be epic. In today's technology, you could really do something crazy with that.
I guess I'm not against the idea. I mean, why not?
Because
$600 million budget.
Well, see, my thing about remakes should be you should take a movie that has a good concept that they didn't execute totally to its potential and remake that. Don't take something that's perfect and remake it.
Yeah,
right.
I agree with that totally. Take things that didn't work the first time around.
And I've said this before, but another underrated one I like that I think is underrated anyway, and it's a remake I actually like, is I like the remake of oh god, now it's gonna escape me. Assault on Precinct 13. I like that remake.
Yeah.
Like it's not like
I've never seen it. Does it follow the original story pretty well, like or more or less, or?
No, they punch it up more. Like now, instead of like a wave of just like nameless thugs, it's like it's crooked cops because the whole thing is like he's gonna like turn evidence, so the cops have to take him out and stuff, which I like just fine. And I don't know, it's not like a great movie or anything, but I mean, in the age of when we're seeing so many of these movies being remade and stuff, and they're awful, like I like it. I think it's a neat.
Does a little girl get shot with an ice cream cone?
No, of course it's not as hard. It's not as hardcore as you might expect, which is too bad. But I mean, it's still got plenty of violence and stuff.
That's
it's Ethan Hawke and
Lawrence Fishburne.
Lawrence Fishburne plays Bishop, and he's pretty good. Yeah, I like that movie. Like it's not amazing, but I would count it as underrated for sure. Because the original story is pretty bare bones, so I don't mind that. Like sometimes when they do these things, I'm just like, why are you adding these ridiculous details? But for something like that, you get it. I mean, there's almost no story to the original one. It's just sort of like it even sounds kind of dumb when they say it. I don't mind because I like the movie, but he's just like, oh, now they'll never stop, and it's like, why? It's like, well, because the script calls for it. Because that's what you want them to do. Just come at you like lemmings.
I really like the movie. Big fan of John Carpenter. But you definitely saw its low budget roots when every time they show the gang members coming over the wall, it was the same shot of them coming over the wall. Like the same people were coming over the wall.
Yeah.
Like
I remember that vividly.
They obviously did not have enough extras that day, so they recycled the footage. But back in the day, they played them on drive-ins, and so people couldn't see the screen clearly anyway, so it made sense.
Yeah, probably wouldn't notice.
Listen, in the early 70s, no filmmaker thought that their film were ever going to be in 4K HD.
Yeah.
I know. No, yeah, I know. Now we've got all these assholes. They're like pointing out these little flaws that like
see all the seams.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I was telling my buddy the other day. We were doing a commentary for.
There's that boom mic shadow, you fucker! What the hell kind of filmmaker are you? Like,
Friday the 13th part.
Come on,
5.
man! It was 1973, and they were like paying half their actors in drugs and stuff, and we're like, what kind of artiste are you?
Yeah, all the makeup effects really show.
Because
the skin tones don't match, but you would never notice before, you know.
Oh, okay.
It's funny though that like some of those movies, it just makes them look better. I mean, I was gonna work into it one way or another to be able to say like the other night I saw Suspiria, the restoration in the theater a few nights ago.
Yeah. You did? How was it?
The Atlantic was amazing. Like the Atlantic Film Festival is one of the only 2 festivals in North America that was doing that. The other one I think is Fantasia. And like it was because the guy he talked to us a little beforehand and stuff. He's like he like really fought really hard to get it on the program. He's like, because people need to see this movie and stuff. So he really liked it when he managed a theater back in the 70s when it came out and stuff. So, So yeah, no, I mean it looked fantastic. They played it a little too loud too, because everybody might remember just how loud that movie is anyway. So it was kind of like an assault on the senses, like the goblin coming at you and stuff. And no complaints here, but I just mean it was it kind of bombarded you a little bit.
I think it's supposed to be that loud though.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's supposed to be a bit, like I said, bombard you a little, but it was a little grating. But I mean, still, I mean, awesome. And what's weird is like that's the other thing. Like you pick up all sorts of stuff from the soundtrack I never heard before. Like a lot of like whispering and stuff that I couldn't really hear before that got overpowered by the music. Because I'm sure you guys know too. Like when they talked about how when Synapse wanted to do the restoration and stuff, like, and they found the original negatives after a long time. It's not the cinematographer. Some guy, one of the guys that worked on the movie, he's super old now. He's like in his 80s and stuff, and he had it. And when they turned the negative over, the whole thing was covered in fingerprints, and that's why it took so long to do. So it took them almost 4 years to clean all that up and stuff. So, but anyway, yeah, they talked a little bit, but it was pretty awesome. It was
Can't
really
wait
great.
to pick that up. I can't wait.
I know.
Oh, man.
Is the Steelbook the only thing that's available for pre-order right now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
50.
You guys think that they're going to put a single, like just a regular release out for that?
Yeah. I don't know if they might do the Demons thing and not put the extras on it, but
That's okay with me.
I mean, if you already have the Anchor Bay 3-disc, I think you're probably fine.
I think I've just got a single disc DVD of it.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm sure. I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
if you sell your single disc, I mean, you'll probably get $10 for it, and that'll knock it down to 40. And
Cameron always hatching a scheme of some sort.
it's not about getting the item for free; it's about just knocking down that price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I hear you.
You know
I
what's
mean,
up, man?
I've pretty much cut out buying movies in the last 2 years. I mean, I don't want to. It's just I buy video games and comics and books and stuff, so I have to prioritize. And
Will this be streaming on Google Play?
Well, they just announced that the Cult of Chucky's coming out next week on Netflix.
Oh
yes,
shit!
Yeah.
It's not
Yes.
even October yet.
No, I think it drops like October 1st.
yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming out on mine too, by Netflix as well.
So I
October.
mean,
And I don't even like it that much. I'm just sort of starved for horror, so I'll probably watch it. Like I don't like the Chucky
Great.
movies.
I'll skip it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't like the Chucky movies, man. Like the first one is passable. The second one is already kind of bad. And
Second one is awesome. The
I
third
hate-
one is pretty
Third
cool.
one
I
is
hate the
fucking
third
awesome,
one
too.
so much. I hate the third one. I like Bride of Chucky more than the third one, man. I can find nothing to like about the third one. And it's like in a military school. Like, man, they're bereft of ideas fast. Like,
and the director of that movie is Jack Bender, who directed I think 98% of the episodes on Lost, and he did a great job on Lost. But
it was way before Lost, so maybe he had to learn some things.
yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
I've never seen Child's Play 3.
What?
In fact, I
Do
don't.
not, do not.
Here's
see
one
it,
of the best lines, Cameron. Tampering with the mail is a federal offense.
Not really.
That does not justify it at all, man. There's nothing to like in that movie.
The whole
That's-
premise is, like you said, he's at a military school. They're all these kids are about 15.
Yeah.
But there's this young kid there. He lives there for some reason.
Yeah, just some black kid that lives there. He's not one of the students. He's just there, right? They didn't even know how to write him in.
There's
Like, we
one
need a
horror
tutor
movie.
kid.
His dad is like overseas somewhere or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like
There's
that.
Yeah,
one
it was
horror
like-
film that I liked that took place at a military school, and that was Damien Omen 2. So
Yeah, that's a good one. One of the better sequels.
Is Sam Neill in that one?
no, Lance Henriksen.
No, he's in the third one. Sam
Okay.
Nielsen.
That's the third one.
Yeah.
Which I tried to watch, but man.
You go for the Omen, you stay for the Sam Neill. That's how it is.
Love Sam Neill. Which was making me think of In the Mouth of Madness, which I like so much. But that's a movie, even though I really like it, I would like to see a remake of that too, because again, like the monsters and stuff at the end look really bad and stuff, and there's some things about it where I think they look really bad. I think they look like goddamn Muppets, man. They look like
Well, they are
yeah, I don't like it.
giant fucking puppet type thing.
Yeah, well, I don't. That's not what I think of. I don't think that like Sweetums is going to drag people down to hell.
I know. I got
I'm sure
contacted
they're
the other day saying that for October somebody wants me to do a 2-hour In the Mouth of Madness discussion, and I was like, okay, I really like the movie.
I'll
but
do it with you.
Well, here's my counter proposal then, Cameron. This is an idea I've been knocking around,
So it'd be a commentary
and this will make it.
on the movie.
Here's an idea I've been knocking around, and I don't know where to put it. I don't know Sausage Factory or whatever, but like maybe you, me, Jay, or whoever wants to get involved. I would like to do the idea of the thematic trilogy. And in John Carpenter, his thematic trilogy is the Apocalypse trilogy, which is, of course, The Thing, Prince of Darkness, and ending with In the Mouth of Madness. I would love to discuss them as they fit together thematically.
don't forget the epilogue though. Cigarette burns.
Oh,
Was that
you're right.
included in that? Okay.
It's
He considers that kind of the epilogue because it's sort of the doom and gloom thing.
Is that
But
the
anyway,
one?
like-
Wait. It was The Thing, Prince of Darkness, and The Mouth of Madness, correct? That was it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
That sounds
like,
really
yeah.
cool.
But I would like to, yeah, like, I don't know how, maybe we can figure something out to do something like that. I've been rereading a lot of Lovecraft lately, and obviously all of them are just basically big love letters to Lovecraft in you know, the whole cosmic horror stuff like that. And like, I just love to discuss that. And also, I don't know, again, but the idea of thematic trilogies has always interested me anyway. Maybe that's something we could do later on is other ones, but that's the one I always think of the most.
It could be one show, or we could do 3 shows an hour each of each one, and so people can just click on the one they want to watch. So
yeah,
but yeah,
I mean,
but I think cigarette burns would have to be added into it just for completion.
Yeah, I agree.
But
That is Norman Reedus. Okay, yeah, I was trying to say that was the one with Norman Reedus in it.
I've seen 2 of those 3 in the theater too. I've seen The Thing and Prince of Darkness in theater.
Oh, really? You saw The Thing?
Yeah, Ryan and I saw it a few years ago. It was not it was a really old print. It was funny because, you know, it takes place in fucking like Antarctica.
Was it pink?
And like everything had like an orange tinge.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
There's nothing better than a pink print, let me tell you.
Yeah, and that's what this totally was. But I mean, it was still a great experience and stuff like that. And we were really surprised that they showed Prince of Darkness here. I think that was the same summer they showed Prince of Darkness.
When eBay first came out, I bought Apocalypse Now on eBay as a film print, and I was running a movie theater at the time, and my projectionist was a massive stoner, and he put it together like backwards and upside down, and so he had to like watch a preview screening to make sure it was like put together correctly, and he was so stoned out of his mind that when it went backwards and upside down, he stood on his head. Like, he didn't realize it was upside down. He just went with the movie. It just turned his head.
Wow. That's
yeah, so.
I wonder what he's up to these days.
I don't know. I see him walking his dog around town.
Fucking ain't right. Running some dispensary somewhere.
Well, he has an amazing amount of focus, so I have to imagine that like he's probably successful in whatever he decides to do. I don't have that much focus. If I did, I'd be a better, more productive writer.
Yeah. Well, I just put out a tweet tonight saying, okay, people want me to talk about horror stuff this October for obvious reasons. Which movies do people want to talk about? Because one of the things that I can't stand is if I start coming up with shows that nobody watches. I only want to do shows I know people are going to be interested in watching, and then I can choose from those which ones I want to do. But yeah, but this is a good month. You know, everyone's doing their 30 horror films a day type of thing, and that's super fun. And, you know, I want to get involved in that. I used to do these things called horror movie mental challenges, in which we would like a bunch of people would get on the on camera, and we would just start spitballing questions at each other. Like, you know, which final girl would you go out with 2 days after she survived the ordeal?
That's a good question.
Man, all of them, man.
No, but you gotta think about it, because like
that's the time to get them.
Yeah, but it's like, but you gotta think about like who's got true PTSD, you know, right? You're not gonna go out with, you're not gonna go out with Sidney Prescott from Scream because she's distrustful of boyfriends, right? So you have to go for.
Yeah, that's true. And actually, she's the one I like the best, so I'd have to do it anyway. I'd have to go for the challenge.
Really?
Even though you're right, in practical terms, she would not be a smart choice. But I was never practical when it came to girls, and I never probably will.
You like
a lot, which really explains a lot of my life. Yeah. We all have our weaknesses, guys. Come on.
Yeah, mine's pizza.
Lay off the pizza, orc. Jesus.
Sorry, bro.
Pizza the Hut.
But yeah, but in the Mouth of Madness though, like they're really quick shots of those Muppets you're talking about. Like it's not like it, you know, lingers on them or anything.
It's not terrible. It's not one.
It's almost like flat. There's like a strobe light going off too at the same time, so you don't even really get a good look at it.
Well, they couldn't afford it, so they just did a lot of quick cuts.
Sure.
Yeah. So again, I'm not. Yeah, I'm just saying that's why I'd be open to remake. I'm not like because I think it's good and has a really great. And I like the original a lot. I do.
Here's the best part. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jay.
I was saying it leaves a little bit to the imagination as to what's going on there.
Sure, you're right. I don't want a remake where just everything's shoved in your face, which is very much what they do in most horror remakes. And it's like, here's everything, you know.
And it only got made. It only got made because the screenwriter was Michael DeLuca. Michael DeLuca was a New Line Cinema executive who thought that he could start writing scripts. He's written 2 screenplays. In the Mouth of Madness was one of them. His other one, Freddy's Dead.
Well, we know what happened there. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
he did better as a producer, though. He produced some good things. He's produced The Social Network, American History X. So,
yeah, Magnolia.
Yeah, he's all over the place.
The director of Freddy's Dead was a better producer too.
Well, she also did Tank Girl. Do you like Tank Girl, Jay?
No, I do not.
Oh God,
I actually like that movie. I like that.
Wow.
I like Lori Petty though.
Yeah.
So you hate Curse of Chucky, but you like Tank Girl? What the fuck?
Yeah.
he also wrote the Judge Dredd movie after In the Mouth of Madness. That was his follow up.
I am
he
the
wrote the
law.
script for Judge Dredd.
You betrayed the lull.
The law.
Yeah, isn't that okay? Did anybody here see the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie?
Yeah.
I've seen parts of it.
Okay, so it has like a cameo by Stallone. He's in it for one scene, Stallone, and it's this part where he's basically kicking the blue guy, Michael Rooker, out of like their weird guild of space pirates or where they are like that. And there's a part where I swear he says, "You betrayed the code." And I wanted to stand up in the theater and go, "You betrayed the law!" And it was really hard to not do that. It was a really hard moment for me.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, because he says, like, "You betrayed the code" to Michael Rooker in that movie. And I was like, there's no way, like, that's a coincidence. I was like, they wanted him to say a line like that. But yeah, I wanted to, like, yell that out, but I didn't.
Hello.
There's like young kids in the audience are like, "What's he talking about?" It's like it's gonna be.
But
sad.
everybody in the audience would be, I'm sure.
Yeah. I don't understand.
But yeah, I was telling Piz to try to get Rachel Talalay on the Sausage Factory at some point. I'm sure she could,
For what?
just to
Shoot the
have
shit.
her on the show. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know if you wanted to do like a crybaby commentary or something because she produced that.
No,
I know
mean,
I've seen that, but I don't really remember.
I mean, she produced all the Freddy films, didn't she?
Yeah.
So I mean,
yeah, she's all over that.
great guest.
We're
What is
gonna
it?
do a
You know-
commentary on Ghost in the Machine.
Dude, if you want to make this,
Directed.
if you want to make the Sausage Factory change their pants literally on camera, everyone should tweet out to Rennie Harlan and have him come on the show.
Oh man, the problem is the fucking name of that show. Everyone thinks they're like being like goaded into some sort of like gay porn.
Yeah, I think it's some sort of weird prank.
And you
We
think
should.
you it's easy for me too? Hey, celebrity, would you like to come on Obnoxious and Anonymous? They're like, no.
I swear we won't make fun of you. And
Yeah, you don't start with the title. You're like, come on, come on to my show.
it's
Well-
a really good show. Good group of guys. Oh, title's not important.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's the link. Don't look at the title of any
Well,
of the videos.
In order for me to get a lot of any names whatsoever, is I have to send them links of people that I've done interviews with, so they can go, oh, okay, you know.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, who named your show?
Me,
Oh, yeah. See,
but I didn't.
that's your own problem. Our show was named by a member that like was barely there and hasn't been involved in the show
He's
for
not here
years.
anymore.
Wait, is this the guy that does the thumbnails? That guy, or no?
No.
Oh, someone else.
I forgot about him. Yeah, he's been gone for a while too.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Oliver.
Oliver.
Solander.
That's right.
Shout out to Oliver in Sweden.
That's what happens when the young folks get a girlfriend.
Who
Disappear off the face of the earth.
who created the name Sausage Factory?
That
Big
was
West.
that was Barry from Endurance
Oh.
Productions.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I thought we were just, and I'm not going to harp on this, but I thought at the time we were doing our brainstorming session. He threw it out there, and like Bizel just immediately seized on it. And the next thing I knew, that was the name of the show. So, you know, I wasn't going to go, hey, maybe we should throw a few more names around. You know,
Then Piz sent me a shirt, and it's like the Sausage Factory, and it's got a huge sausage on it. The first wave of our shirts that we got, and then I go down to the market and like where the deli is, and then like I'm like, yeah, like I'm walking up and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get some sausage and some bacon, and ask this guy, and then like he's talking with it, he's got the apron on and he's talking to his friend, he's like, sausage factory, or this competition? What the fuck is this? And then I went up and I'm like, yeah, I'll take 5 sausages and 4. I'm about to get killed in New England because I have a sausage factory.
I've never worn my shirt out of the house.
You're about to get served, son. Then you pull out your own sausage. You're like, try this, though. That'd be funny.
But the fact of the matter was, yeah, Pezel seemed to really seize on it and like it. The whole thing was his idea, so I don't think anybody was going to argue with him. So we're like, okay.
But you guys are all.
It's been the show for like 6 years.
You guys are all like. I mean, you get your hands in a lot of cookie jars. Jay, I had no idea you had like 4 different podcasts you're doing. It's amazing.
Jay is what keeps me busy. I'd be disconnected from YouTube if it wasn't for Jay keeping me involved.
Honestly, it's like, and when's Plateau TV coming back, Jay?
At some point, hopefully, we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
It's
Our
so
show's
funny.
still working. We'll be here Tuesday.
Cole, when are you gonna get your YouTube channel going again?
Part of me's been thinking to start over fresh and maybe even do VidMe like other people are doing because that's what people are. So that's a possibility. Because I wanted to, because I always thought, now that, it's been a year since I moved into this apartment. And my most famous, even though I don't like them very much, the video I have that's the most hits by far was when I showed my comic collection because people like that shit. And that was like 5 years ago. So I always thought I should do another one because I've added a lot has changed. But then I thought, well, not until I move because then I can show it properly and stuff like that. And yeah, and then of course I just put that off for like almost a year. So I was thinking, yeah, that would kick off the new era of my show. So maybe, and then other people were like moving to VidMe and stuff. I was like, maybe I should just start fresh there. So that ball is in the air anyway.
Even Mike went to VidMe.
Yeah,
like he's gonna start making videos again.
Is he?
Yeah.
We need to get him some more subscribers.
Well, he needs 50, and then he can get verified.
Okay, so there's a reason for me to get on there. I can get on there at the least and subscribe to Mike and stuff.
It's super fun to go on there and like Rambo and like other people like will have like new videos, and I just go through and just up thumb them up all. But Rambo, like you upload like 30 of them a day. I'm like, good lord.
Well, I'm caught up.
Yeah.
So.
Are you really? Wow.
For all the ones I wanted on there, just in each sneeze, and YouTube has a different fucking thing going on.
Yeah. Well, now, since we're talking like behind the curtain stuff, now if I put up a video on YouTube within 10 minutes, it's demonetized, no matter what it is. Mm-hmm. And then I have to submit, the thing saying please look, and then 5 days later it will be remonetized. But by that time, everyone's already seen it, so doesn't matter. Yeah, but.
Great job, you two.
We wrapping up, Jay?
Plus.
I'm
I know you can't be on too long.
Yeah,
I was gonna get going anyway. So
I was gonna put some stuff up on VidMe the other day, but I can't get my webcam to work here, so I'm just gonna have to shoot it on an actual camera.
Oh, okay.
I got some stuff I'm gonna put up, but I'm always skeptical of these new formats just because I've seen so many come and go.
Right.
And,
sure.
I know YouTube is the fucking devil right now, but
you can at least count that it'll be there, and yeah.
Yeah,
right.
Well, no one's saying you can't upload to YouTube. Just move stuff to videos too. That's all. That's what I do. I just it's to double the platforms, and then I know if YouTube ever messes with the video, at least I have a backup.
Sure.
So
like this was like 10 years ago or something like that. I moved over to another site, and I wish I hadn't because I didn't keep any of the videos that I did for the other site. So really kind of screwed me over because it was real popular for like 5 minutes, and then that was it.
Well, I'll tell you, VidMe is not going to get you a ton of views, but at least the videos are protected.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
That to me is important because I don't want to put a lot of time and energy. I mean, people say, why do you do these videos where you're just like talking to the camera? It's like, well, because I don't want to put a lot of energy and time and money into videos and then have YouTube yank them down, you know? So
this guy, Mike, shared this thing on Facebook the other day. It was, they were doing a Radio Disney cover of, I think it was a Slipknot song. And it sounded really cool. I wanted to check it out. And I went to the YouTube video that they had linked on whatever, whatever site it was on. That video was taken down because of copyright. And then the guy on that channel put up another video. He's like, okay, that video got taken down. Puts a link down below to Vimeo. And I said, okay, cool. I click on that, and that video has been taken down because of copyright. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. I mean, where can you put a video up these days?
Yeah.
I mean, Vimeo, you have to pay for it, don't you?
No, there is a free one, but it's only like 500 megabytes a week, you know. So
okay, that's what it is.
But even if you pay like $300 or no, it's like, yeah, I think it's like $500 a year, you still have a cap.
Yeah, that's stupid.
So, I mean, even Rambo would be capped out by the first month.
Yeah. Exactly. So there you go.
You know?
But
That's never true too.
I'm always amazed at you, Rambo. I wake up in the morning, I check my video subscriptions, and there's like 15 new rants. And I'm like, damn, how does it do
that
it?
many, but
well, I know. I'm just saying. A lot of videos uploaded, and it goes like, positive review, rant, positive review, rant. I'm like, okay.
Well, I try and mix it up, so.
And I'm like, add to playlist.
Yeah. Watch later.
Yeah. So, Ork, you were talking about Cinemassacre did something about like 10 movies that everyone likes that I don't. You said it was pretty dank in there. What was some of the titles that?
Citizen Kane, The Matrix, Pulp Fiction.
He's looking for trolls then, basically.
Why, he doesn't like Pulp Fiction?
He thinks it's really overrated. Yeah.
No, I agree with that.
I linked it in the chat. Watch that video. It's really good.
I think
or
Pulp
just go
overrated.
to Cinemassacre's YouTube channel. Yeah. His number one was, guess what it was, Cole? Take a wild guess. It's your favorite.
Something I love, probably.
It's
Blade Runner? Blade Runner?
What?
Was it Blade Runner?
No, it's your favorite directing duo. One of their movies.
Coen Brothers.
James Cameron?
Matrix?
Oh,
no.
It was a Coen Brothers movie. Yeah. I don't know, Fargo?
Nope.
Big Lebowski?
Yep. That's his number one film. He's like, everybody loves this film. I don't fucking get it. Why people like
he needs to talk to me then, because we're kindred spirits. Because, man, like, I have no idea why anybody likes that film. Because, like, yeah, I don't think it's overrated. I think it's garbage. Like, I think it's horrible. But anyway, yeah. Like,
call me Mr. Jimmy Russell over here.
Ooh, Russell,
I have no idea if that's a reference to, but probably.
It wouldn't be one of our videos if we didn't complain about society for a second. Mel Brooks has come out to say, there's no way I could have made Blazing Saddles in our stupid, politically correct society.
That's true.
Well, yeah, everybody already knew that, but thanks for saying it.
Okay, Orc's Twitter followers of the week. Here's who you got to follow. Guillermo del Toro and James Woods. So Del Toro tweets, and it's like,
I already followed Del Toro.
This guy sucks. I hate him. And then Woods is like, fucking liberal ass piece of shit with these guys. And it's just back and forth. I love that shit.
I remember James Woods was in my neck of the woods. Probably about, I don't know. I'm sure he's here all the time, but I know a friend of mine used to work at a CVS store, Longs or whatever, if you know what that is. And he came in with like he's like that. His girlfriend looked like his daughter. They're all over each other in CVS. So yeah,
he's one of those guys that really wants us to know. Like, he's like, I get it done. Like, he wants everybody to know. He's like, yeah, I've got pretty girlfriends, and I get, like, it's really important to him, I guess. It's his ego, right? He's just like, yeah, that's right. Like, he really wants us to know for whatever reason. I'm like, that's good, James.
King's Cat's Eye, it's pretty awesome.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't often get to see a hero cat. I like that it has an arc with a hero cat. That's pretty cool.
And they cut out a lot of the story too. There's like a whole subplot a prologue they cut out where Drew Barrymore is a young girl who gets killed by the troll at the beginning, and her cat.
Oh, that somebody actually died. Wow.
Yeah, and then her cat leaves and is trying to find the reincarnated spirit of the girl who died, and that's why Drew Barrymore's in most of the stories.
Oh, well, yeah, I know that she's calling out to it.
Right.
Or is that true? Yeah, she's calling out to it, but she's actually alive at the time. It's just like she has like a weird,
Or is
like
she?
psychic? She has like a psychic projection or something, right? Isn't that what it is? It's like a psychic projection that comes to the cat and guides her. Because she's not alive. It's like so they changed it. It was that she had died, but now it's
Well, no, because she's the autistic girl in James Woods' story, and then she's the other girl in the troll story. So she plays like multiple roles on the whole thing, but they cut out the whole prologue.
She was an ET, bro. She's talented as fuck.
Charlie's Angels, come at me, bro.
Oh yeah, she was.
I always, you know what? Back in the day, I always hoped that Sci-Fi had gotten her for the first Firestarter 2. I thought that would have been great for her to go do a TV movie.
Yeah. Well, Firestarter 2 apparently is quite the epic. It's almost 3 fucking hours long, which is the only thing I know about it.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I've seen it.
I saw it on Netflix like ages. I didn't watch it. I remember seeing it. I looked at the running time. I was like, are you kidding me? Like somebody was like, yes, there's an epic story to be told.
Wait, is this
It couldn't be contained.
No, it was like 8 years ago. But most of the budget went to Dennis Hopper. So
Dennis Hopper's in it?
yeah.
I've seen this movie.
You've seen it? Wow. Like, you don't remember that it was like 2 hours and 48 minutes
The best
long,
thing is
and
that
It
it's
is.
Hopper.
Wow.
The best thing that's called Firestarter 2 Rekindled.
Yeah.
So
Gives you hope for those sequel titles. There's still clever puns here to be made.
The lead chick's really hot.
and the fact that they cast George C. Scott as a Native American is fantastic.
Wonderful cultural sensitivity right there. Which is kind of weird. Like, George C. Scott, like, this is a weird reach, but the fact is, George C. Scott is the guy that, told them to go fuck themselves when he was nominated for an Oscar, right? Like, he wouldn't show up.
Mm-hmm.
And, around the same time, when Marlon Brando was nominated for Oscars, to stick it to them, he just brought up a Native American woman and made her talk about how everybody was being mean to Native Americans.
Right.
So that's an interesting little...
Oh, was that George C. Scott that did that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he wouldn't go. He
And-
hated them, then he wouldn't go.
Well, funny story, George C. Scott.
It was Patton, right?
Yeah. When George C. Scott was doing Dr. Strangelove with Stanley Kubrick did not like his acting. He thought he was too low key. So he would say to George C. Scott during the rehearsals, "Can you just be really animated? Do some silly stuff." And then those were the takes that he put in the movie. And never told George C. Scott he was rolling the camera.
Yeah, George C. Scott didn't like him either. Like, they did not like each other.
No.
Both
But
have said-
he's hilarious in Doctor Strangelove, but that's not the performance he wanted to give.
Yeah, I can understand that. He does seem sort of like a humorless type of person, to tell you the truth. So
Yeah.
the fact that he managed to get that out of him is kind of impressive. I had to trick him, but I got him.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, I'm sorry to cut it short here, but I'm going to have to go ahead and head out.
All
I'm
right.
going anyway. Yeah, good stuff.
Take it
But
easy.
Jay and I
for
will.
fun.
We have a show on Tuesday, so if anybody's watching, that show is still alive, and we're trying to keep it going. So
And what
on that.
movie will you be talking about on Tuesday?
We don't know yet.
we don't know yet, but we're thinking of something with maybe a predominantly female cast. We've been playing with that idea, so we're looking to some of those movies that are maybe have that sort of thing. But if it all falls apart, we have backup movies that we have that we just throw out. So maybe you'll just be blindsided by.
So
being
this
completely
coming-
different.
This coming Tuesday, Jay and Cole will take on How to Make an American Quilt.
That's very possible. That's right in the mix.
Talking about Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood.
Yeah.
I thought it would be like.
Traveling pants.
Traveling pants.
I thought it was gonna be like Clueless.
Well,
or something.
We did Stand By Me last week, so we were trying to do a female. Trying to
Clueless.
find
Yeah,
something.
There's some sort of equivalent and stuff.
Oh, you
really.
you gotta do the craft.
I like the craft, but yeah. I said, you guys see Now and Then? Because that was the closest movie I could come up with.
Hey,
What about
Isn't
that
it-
movie you
isn't it-
mentioned, the Babysitter's Club or
yeah,
something?
the Babysitters.
Oh, that's what it was.
Oh,
Everyone's a
shit.
meet
I'll watch it out now.
I don't think I should.
Yeah,
put
but
Jay
we gotta
through
be
that.
hipsters and we gotta watch the VHS copy because I got the clamshell and everything. so.
I own it. Now I'm gonna get put on some sort of list.
Well,
but yeah.
that could be Tuesday, the Babysitter's Club.
Listen. Or if Orc and I show up for that too, that'd be the most hilarious thing. Four dudes. From
But
the
you have to
sausage
actually
factory
see it before you
talking
get
about.
on.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I would take it deadly seriously, and I think you guys would just laugh at me.
We'll do a discussion and then a commentary.
So,
Hey, well,
it'll be something Tuesday, so look forward to that. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we'll be continuing this show at some point. We don't really know what the title is yet, but it will be a somewhat of a usual thing, hopefully.
Oh, cool.
And
All right.
yeah.
It should be called Shit Talking with Jay.
Okay.
All right.
That's not very advertiser friendly, but
So make t-shirts immediately.
Well, YouTube's not friendly anyway, so.
Okay. All right, see you guys.
Talking
Thanks a lot.
Squid with Jay. See you.
thanks, guys.
Okay, have a good night.